Hey guys, it's Debbie. We are back with day 4, the afternoon session of the Matriarch Mastermind murder trial, Florida v. Donna Adelson. And we have had Sergeant, I think, Christopher Corbett on the stand. He is a digital forensic guy, and Shadow is on my laptop. So we have an echo right now. Shadow, can I please fix it? I think that was a no. Hey, Wiggles. Hey, Jill. Hey, Judy. Hey, Marty. Hey, Carla, who has left us but is probably listening as she spreads bad news to people that they are being served with court papers. Shadow. She's watching the other monitor. Her nose is like that far away from it. Hey, Nichelle. She's sitting on my laptop. She's got her nose like this far from the other monitor. She's waiting for court to start too. Silly girl. What you doing, Shadow? You just waiting? You're just waiting for court to start like we are? What are you doing? Do you need, you're gonna need glasses. Do you have to be that close? I'm gonna ruin your eyes. Yeah, it's actually not raining here today either. I wonder if our rain that we've had all summer, and when I tell you it rains in Florida every day in the summer, I'm telling you the truth. But it rains for like 15 minutes and stops. But because we've had the tropical storms out in the Atlantic this summer, like we've had storms out in the Atlantic, but we've not had hurricanes develop and hit land like we normally do. They've just been out in the Atlantic swirling around. So we've got this weird rain that's not our normal, like, 15-minute shower and then stops. It's been stormy, black skies and then weird thunderstorms that last between 30 minutes and an hour. Sometimes it'll knock the power out for a little while and then it'll stop raining and like no power. It's been bizarre. It's been like mini hurricane weather for like a few hours and then it stops. It's been bizarre. The weather has been bizarre this summer. I am so ready for fall. I'm tired of this bizarreness that's been going on. And this is really the first. Oh, it's finally raining there. She is funny. I have no idea what she is up to lately, but the past few days, I wonder if it was because I was gone all day Sunday. I don't know why she's been on the desk like this for the past few days. But Now, I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in 2016. I've not really been much into that until this year because my cousin was like, "Hey, you want to go?" And I was like, "Yes." So I've been watching the videos and everything. And because of the weird rain this year, I've been watching the parade and stuff. And what I didn't know, because the year that I did go, we didn't even watch the parade. Um, so what I didn't realize is that when it rains, if the ground is wet, because some of the characters, and you'll see when I finally get my video together, I have to do editing and stuff. But some of the characters are on. The only thing I can figure out to call them is segways. You know, like the Segway, it it has the base and then it has the handle thing, and you lean forward and it goes one way, you lean backwards, it goes by how you're leaning. But it doesn't have the handle part. It's just the base. And they're like, they move to make it move in what direction they want to go. And so Ursula, the Sea Witch Ursula is on one, and then the bride from the Haunted Mansion is on one. So in parades where the ground has still been wet, they can't be on those. So they're just walking. And then the dancers in the parade do not dance, I guess because they don't want them to slip and fall in a puddle. So if the ground is wet, they don't do that. And also the headless horseman does not ride because the headless horseman cannot see where he's going. The horse knows the way. He cannot see. So they don't want the horse to ride when the ground is wet. So the one that I went to, we got the full parade, but we didn't get the headless horseman. It was raining when we first got there. So we got soaked. It was just sprinkling, but we still got wet going in. And then it stopped. So it stopped enough. It was dry enough that we got the full parade, but we didn't get the headless horseman, which I was very disappointed because I wanted to see him in person because they say he's very, very intimidating in person. I mean, he was scary enough looking on video, but we my husband keeps it cold enough to hang meat in this house. I swear. Now he complained. I'm like, I don't know if I'm all the way through menopause. My hot flashes have stopped. I don't know if I'm all the way through menopause or not, but chemo threw me into early menopause, so I went through menopause early. And my husband used to always complain I kept it too cold in this house. He was always complaining. And then, excuse me. So then our central AC went out, and well, I don't know if I'm done yet or not. Maybe my hot flashes just went away. Or maybe I'm done. I don't know. So our central AC went out, and I forgot how much it was, like 6,000, 8,000, thousands. I don't know, thousands that we don't have. And we went and got window units. Why am I little? Because they're not doing anything. So we went and got window units, and they are doing a great job. Too great of a job because I freeze all the time. And I don't mess with them because then if I make it warmer in here, this is going to sound so weird. If I change it and make it warmer in here, and then I get hot, and I tell him, turn the AC colder because I'm hot, then I get, no, I'm comfortable. It's fine in here. So I just leave it cold and bundle up. It sounds weird because if I change it to a comfortable temperature, then I have to fight with him to get it turned back colder. So but since we've had the wall, the window units, it is freezing in this house. So I just let him freeze me out, and I just bundle up. The reason why I'm not wearing a jacket or a sweater or anything today is because I'm on the heating pad, because my back's hurting a little bit. Monday, it was hurting a lot because of the going to the party, driving basically 5 hours, 2.5 there, 2.5 back. But that's how I've kept warm this week. Is sitting on a heating pad. But yeah, it's cold in here. Yep. Well, I had what's it called? A uterine ablation before I went into menopause. So that got taken care of early.
No, everyone can see.
Oh, Jill, feel better. I'm so sorry. Feel better, Jilly. So at one point we're gonna have to say we gotta turn the AC warmer because it's getting cooler outside. But it's still gonna be hot during the day for a little while. But it was 66 this morning. Yeah, it's in the 80s. At least it's in the 80s. See what it is
Was able to research the matter during the lunch break.
now. How hot is it outside?
And at the conclusion of that research, the ground for which it's being offered as an adoptive admission that is permissible under the rules of evidence. And I will also find there are other grounds in which it would be permissible as well. The citation of the case that I'm relying upon for this, Jones versus State, 127 Southern 3rd, 622, deals with this matter, as well as the treatise provided by Professor Earhart on this matter. Are there any other issues that we need to address before we continue with the examination of Sergeant Corbett?
All right, if I could have a moment. I found the case to the contrary, but I'd like an opportunity to read the case that Your Honor cited.
Well, this is not a motion hearing, Mr. Zellman. If you wish to place your case on the record, please do so, but I am finding that it is admissible as an adoptive admission.
Your Honor, State versus Hernandez, 875 Southern 2nd, 1271. I have a copy for the state. And for Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Creates a Crawford issue, Your Honor.
I read Hernandez as well while researching this matter. I believe Hernandez dealt with the aspect of silence as opposed to affirmatively making a statement, agreeing with the statement of another. These are distinguishable, but you may briefly speak about Hernandez before the jurors in the room.
Well, Your Honor, again, I hadn't seen Jones. However, this case specifically holds that adoptive admission must still satisfy Crawford. Again, haven't read Jones, so I don't know how that applies. But I do object, certainly respect the court's law.
Objection is noted for the record. The testimony of the sergeant will be permitted as an adoptive admission. And again, I will find there are other admissibility theories as well concerning this line of questioning. However, as to the one raised by the state adoptive admission specifically, I will find it is permitted. You may bring the jurors.
Judge, before we do that, one additional issue. The statement under an adoptive admission has to have been heard, I believe, by the party that is allegedly adopting it. There's no evidence that my client watched the trial or heard her son's testimony.
As to the foundation of that, Ms. Dugan, you certainly need to lay it. An adoptive admission occurs when there is an express statement agreeing with the statement of another. Concerning any statement by your client that was made in which she agreed or otherwise it stated in some way the testimony of another person at the trial of Charlie Adelson, namely Charlie Adelson was true. This qualifies. Please bring them up. Everyone can be seated. Members of the jury, I hope you enjoyed your lunchtime rest and break. We will continue with the examination of Sergeant Corbett at this point. Ms. Dugan, you may continue with your examination.
No further, thank you.
Cross-examination.
Just a moment, all right?
I thought you had like a half an hour more to go. Isn't that what she said before lunch?
Good afternoon, Sergeant.
Good afternoon.
Now, I believe some of this you covered yesterday, but I just want to clarify a few things. These call detail records, they're generated by the carriers.
That's correct.
They're generated for purposes for business purposes of the carrier.
Correct.
So they're generated to, you know, back when I think I got a cell phone, we had a plan with a certain limit. Now they're unlimited, but that was one of the reasons why call detail records were created, correct?
Certainly, billing purposes, yes.
And what about network load?
As far as the creation of records,
Yes.
so network load, there are reports that I spoke about, the kind of specialty reports that are more of an engineering standpoint and are used by carriers to more effectively manage their network. Amongst other things, might be load, be something that they would be considering with those records.
Now, the call detail records that you testified about extensively over the last couple of days, they do not contain precise geolocation data for a handset, do they?
The majority of the records that I've spoken about, no, do not.
And specifically, the records that you relied upon for mapping purposes that you displayed earlier,
That is correct. All of the records used for mapping are strictly cell site locations. So the locations that you've seen were for the cell site or cell tower the handset was communicating with, not the cell phone itself.
And using the cell site sector, you can at least identify where on a map a handset could be.
Correct.
And so when you're mapping, those dots that are on your maps, those are the cell sites.
That is correct.
They're not the handset.
Correct.
Now, there are variables that influence how a device, a handset, communicates with a network, correct?
Certainly.
Would some of those include the signal strength of the handset?
Signal strength, or really signal quality, is one of the primary things that a handset uses, or the network uses, to determine which cell site a handset may communicate with. So the signal quality is largely affected by signal strength, as you ask, meaning the closer you are to the tower, the stronger the signal is, generally the better quality the signal is.
Now, what can interfere with a phone or device connecting with a tower?
A number of things, primarily structures, buildings. Here in downtown, we have a number of cell sites around the area, and if you were behind this courthouse, a very large, substantially built building, and there were a cell site on the opposite side, the density of this building would probably prevent your handset from being able to communicate with that cell site. And you may choose a cell site that's somewhere else that your handset is better able to see. Topography, hills, valleys, cell sites that are on the other side of a mountain, your handset may not be able to see or communicate with. Those are really the primary things, bodies of water, but the physical obstruction, topography is probably, to me, the greatest effect.
What about network load on a specific cell site?
So load can be a factor. The handsets, as they're creating energy, this radio frequency, the signals that are going back and forth, it is a bit of noise. And so the towers, if there's a lot of handsets, that can create a lot of noise, which can affect that signal quality that I've been speaking about. So towers can choose to adjust. Breathing is sometimes what it's called, but there may be an adjustment by the tower or the network. If there is high density, then handsets can communicate with other cell sites. Generally, no matter where you are, your handset is able to see multiple cell sites and sectors at the same time. And there's a lot that goes into the choice of particularly which one of those your handset is directed to communicate with for any particular event.
So merely because a handset is communicating with a specific cell tower, cell site, and sector, that doesn't mean that that's the closest one to that handset.
That's correct.
Do the call detour records that you have relied on in this case take into consideration whether or not a tower is under maintenance or partially functioning or otherwise operating at a reduced capacity?
Only in the respect that if it were not functioning, then it would not be listed in the records. If it were not operational, the handset would not be able to communicate with it. So when I see a cell site and sector in the records, I know that it was operational because the handset did in fact communicate with that.
But there's no way to tell from the call detour records that you relied on here whether or not a specific cell site was partially functioning.
I don't know exactly what you mean by partially functional.
Well, were any of them operating at reduced capacity? You can't tell that from the call detail records, can you?
I could not tell the load or the capacity on the tower at any particular time, no.
And so you just listed a number of factors that can affect call routing and cell site selection, correct?
I did, yes.
Now, those same factors can influence when a call is handed off to another cell site, correct?
They can, yes.
And so not only in this instance do we have a handset that is moving on a highway, but you also have those other factors that could influence what cell site the handset is communicating with.
That's correct.
And understanding all of those variables, that's critical to you analyzing and interpreting the data.
It is, yes.
And so would you agree that the analysis that you conduct has some inherent limitations?
It certainly has limitations as far as nothing in the analysis that I've done is meant to say exactly where a handset is. We're unable to do that. Again, I talked about inclusion and exclusion, that we know the general service area of a cell site, and so we include and exclude locations. But the limitation to the effect of we cannot say exactly where a handset is correct.
And so in other words, it involves some degree of estimation or inference?
I would agree with that, yes.
Now, could you the presentation that you were showing us earlier?
I do have it, yes.
I want you to turn, let's start with one thing that the state brought out. Let's go to the frequency report. I believe it's on slide 28.
Apologies, a little trouble getting back there. Slide 28, the frequency report for Donna Adelson.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury again the process of creating this report? I believe what you said yesterday was that you put the data from the carrier into a tool.
A program, yes.
Okay. And then you did the same for Charlie Adelson's CDRs?
Correct.
Catherine Magbanua?
Correct.
Sigfredo Garcia?
Yes.
Luis Rivera?
Yes.
Anyone else?
Really, most any set of records that we had, the frequency report is one of the first things and most basic things that we do with the records.
Now, there's a process that you have to go through called, I believe it's called deduping. Are you familiar with that?
It depends on which way you're referring to it.
Okay. Well, when you're talking about call detail records and frequency analysis, there's a way, and I think you gave us an example yesterday on some of your slides about how one communication event can show up multiple times.
Correct. So we do see with certain carriers that a call that comes in that is routed maybe to voicemail creates multiple events, and it creates multiple records, and some of those will be tied to the same number. Some of them are tied to kind of a not fictitious, but a routing phone number. So they will really count against the frequency for a particular target. But as I mentioned, these frequency reports are very general ideas of relationships and associations. So for these, we mentioned that it does include things like miscommunications, calls that went to voicemail. It may include the multiple events, because those things are generally distributed equally across all the calls. It's not just one phone that's going to create those multiple entries. All phones calling in should create about the same things. So it's certainly not meant to be an exact number of communications. It's just an idea of, again, kind of relevance and association.
Okay, so in that vein, if you could look at, let's see. So let's look at, I believe it was slide 122.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now with respect to this slide, have you gone into the data and manually removed duplicate events?
I have, yes.
And the same with, have you done the same 26 and 28?
Slide 26 is the frequency report for Charlie Adelson, and I believe that 28 is, again, Donna Adelson's. No, I have not removed duplicate events from these frequency reports.
So those aren't accurate.
They are accurate. They accurately represent from the call detail records every time that cell phone number appeared in the records.
Okay,
I-
it was a poorly worded question, I apologize. It's not accurate in the sense that there are not 80 actual communications between my client and her son.
There may be fewer. Again, this includes those routed events, the not answered, going to voicemail, all of those are included. Text messages, voice calls, all of those are included in this tallying. It is just from the raw records.
And so in other words, you see the 80 up there. You recall, I believe it's the AT&T records, could have 3 separate events for one communication. Is that correct?
They could. That would generally only tally 2 for a particular phone number, because that third event is generally going to have a routing phone number in it.
Okay. And so this does not account for that.
It does not.
I believe on slide 98, if you could turn to that. Can you keep going? It might have been the next one. Erase this text after you read it. Was the text erased?
The text was still in the iCloud return, so I could not tell you if it was deleted from the device or not.
You never got the handset that iCloud is associated with,
That is correct.
and that would be Charlie's phone.
Correct.
Okay. Slide 116. Okay, looks like on this one there are 2 conversations between Charlie Adelson and Catherine McBanowa, correct?
One is an attempt. So as it says, Charlie attempts. Catherine, this was an inbound that I don't believe was answered, or that any actual communications occurred.
Well, okay, so the one event, we don't know what was discussed, do we?
But we do not know.
Slide 117. We don't know what was discussed between Charlie and whomever he was speaking with at the Adelson residence, do we?
We do not.
119. We don't know what was discussed between Harvey Adelson and Charlie Adelson.
We do not.
120? We don't know what was discussed between,
We do not.
and we don't have the content of the text messages that the data indicates took place. Now, the calls to the landline. Do you know anything about the signal strength for the Adelson residents in Coral Springs? You know, as far as their ability to connect with local towers back in 2014.
I only know what I have seen from looking at different sets of records. I know that their handsets have events with location that are consistent with their home on a fairly regular basis. I can do analysis and determine if the handsets are home or not. So as to whether that's great signal or not, there are a number of events their handsets are creating with cell sites near their residence that would be consistent with their residence.
I know that there are parts of my house where I can have a conversation, but if I walk into the garage, I don't have a good signal. You don't know where in the house that they were to have any sort of conversation in their home.
I do not.
Now, if you could go to 135. And advance one. So during this 36 to 48 hour period, does the 7 communications or attempted communications between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson indicate a spike?
I would not say so, no.
Okay. And for what time period did you review their records?
In different, we have records that span years, and they are a little different for each person. For some, we have several months. For some, we have years worth of records. So I have looked at periods of time for their records spanning several years.
Okay. Now, specific as to Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, you have at least 4 or 5 years worth of records for them,
Probably that many, yes.
if not more.
Possibly, yes.
And so the amount of communications or attempted communications that are indicated during the June 2nd and June 4th, as you refer to it, flurry of communications, 7 is not a spike.
I do not consider it an abnormally high number of communications.
Now, same with respect to the July trip. Can you advance to that slide, please?
Apologies, it'll take just a second. I believe that's what you're looking for.
Yes. Now, again, this is it's approximately 38 hours time period.
Correct.
The 4 communications or attempted communications between my client and her son, those do not represent a spike, do they?
They do not.
And so the flurry of communications that you testified to earlier, at least as it pertains to my client and her son, did not take place, did it?
I'm not sure where the characterization of a flurry came from. I don't believe that I used the term call flurry. We were looking at calling analysis or calling activity during certain periods of time. And the only question being asked of these, of the analysis in this time frame is, was there the potential for the exchange of information from one person to the other? And that's what we see, that there is communication from one person to the other across the subjects during a time frame that may be more significant than others. It's not meant to reflect a high volume or a different tempo of communication, just that there is at least the potential for the exchange of information.
Now, let's talk about the emails briefly. Go to slide 140, please. You testified this morning that this was sent out. Now, Evite is an online platform where anyone can go in and create an event and send out invitations, correct?
That's correct.
Back in 2014, do you have any personal knowledge as to how that website operated?
In 2014, I do not.
And I believe that you indicated that there was an indication that Donna Adelson was unfamiliar with that process.
Correct.
As we sit here today, you cannot testify that Donna Adelson created that event on evite.com, can you?
I can only testify as to the email where she asked if her invitations had been sent yet, and where she describes how she entered the contacts, how she entered the invitees as contacts. That's the only thing that I can take from that email.
Now, also with respect to the emails, there were quite a few search warrants done for email accounts in this case, correct?
Yes.
How many emails were recovered during this investigation?
Oh, how, like total number?
Yes.
Oh, hundreds of thousands.
Specific as to donnaharvey@gmail.com, how many emails were recovered?
I do not recall the total amount.
In excess of 50,000?
I believe so, yes.
In excess of 70,000?
I don't recall, and I've only seen a subset of those.
Who decided
Emails.
what subset you would review?
Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Let's look at slide 143. You testified earlier that this was an email from Dan Markel to Wendy Adelson in January of 2024 concerning their schedule with the kids beginning in April.
January of 2014, but yes.
Yes, sorry. Are you also aware that there were subsequent emails and text messages between the two of them where this schedule changed or was modified?
I'm not aware of any changes or modifications.
So you have not reviewed them or you're not aware of them?
I'm not aware of them. I have not seen anything. I have not done a great deal of research into this schedule with the children. As I sit here, not aware of any changes.
How do you decide to put this email in the presentation?
The emails are reviewed by the state attorney's office for a determination as to what should be included in the presentation.
With respect to Wendy Adelson's phone, are there different types of extractions that can be done on these devices?
Yes, there are different sort of levels of forensic examinations that can be done, yes.
And what are those levels?
Well, it kind of varies by device, by time period, by forensic tool, but we generally talk about a logical extraction where we're we're taking the majority of information we can get access to kind of in a logical fashion. If this appears to be a text message, it's a text message. Phone call is a phone call. It is not as thorough as generally what we may consider a file system or a full file system extraction. So those are kind of the basics.
Okay. Which one is preferable when conducting an investigation?
We want the most detailed that we can get.
And the most detailed for most handsets is going to be a full extraction, correct?
It would be, but there are a number of things that may prohibit us from getting that full file system or full extraction. Encryption, passwords that cannot be broken, phones that are not supported by forensic tools. We frequently want the full extraction, but are unable to get it.
Now let's talk about Wendy Adelson's phone. Her phone was searched pursuant to consent, correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. And there were no limitations to that consent.
I am not the one who obtained the consent or did the examination, so I don't believe there were, but I don't have firsthand knowledge of that.
Okay, well, I believe, are you aware that Wendy Adelson gave a lengthy statement to investigators?
Yes.
And during the course of that interview, she voluntarily provided her cell phone for extraction.
Again, I believe that is correct.
And are you aware that she put any limitations on that extraction?
I'm not aware of any limitations.
And so, what type of extraction was done on her device?
A logical extraction.
And as we've discussed, a logical extraction is not a complete extraction from a device.
It generally has less information, correct?
In this case, if you look at the extraction, the forensic extraction, there's significantly less data in her phone extraction than in other devices' extractions in this case.
Yes. Yes, there is less data, but that may be an indication of less data on her device as well.
I want to talk about the morning of July 18th of 2014. I didn't write down the slide number, but you indicated earlier that, and you had a slide that Wendy called Donna, Donna called Wendy. Can you pull that up?
I can.
Thank you. What slide number is this?
This is slide 196.
Thank you. So slide 196, your analysis reveals that Wendy called her mother first, correct?
Well, these calls are as noted, at the same time. So they're both at 8:09. And one of the limitations we have with some of the sets of records we have is that some were provided with only hours and minutes of call, and some were provided with hours, minutes, and seconds. So these calls actually occurred in the same minute, but it's possible that Donna's call was first.
Don't you have records that indicate seconds?
We do have records that indicate
Specific
seconds.
for this day?
I don't know if we have specific for this day. We have multiple sets of records and multiple overlapping sets of records.
You have been involved in this case since its inception, since Mr. Markel was murdered, correct?
Yes.
And it's typically in your field best to use records that have more data rather than less, correct?
Generally, yes.
Okay. Have you gone back to determine who called whom first?
I have not, but I could.
And so if I were to tell you that records with seconds reveal that Donna Adelson gets a call from Geek Squad and immediately calls her daughter. And then while Donna is calling her daughter, Geek Squad calls her daughter. Would that also be consistent with both calls happening at 8:09?
Yes.
And by using the records with more information, you would be able to present this in an accurate order, would you not?
They both indicate the time of 8:09 for the calls, and as discussed or as presented, hopefully, that there was a phone tag that occurred here at 8:09. And so that, yes.
I believe you had moved to slide 210. Now, this is after the text message exchange between Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel, correct?
Correct.
And that's the one where, after Mr. Markel had left a voicemail for Wendy, Wendy texts him and saying, "Swimming won't work today because I'm picking the kids up at 3:30.
Correct.
And then they kind of have a disagreement about the time that Wendy can pick the boys up.
They do.
After Wendy gets that information from Mr. Markel, she then calls her brother.
Correct.
She didn't call her mother.
No.
Now, I believe after this call between Wendy and Charlie, I think it's on slide 213, he tries to call Donna.
Correct.
30 seconds, that indicates to you that the call did not connect.
More than likely.
I believe, if you go to slide 272. May have gotten the slide wrong. If you can back up a couple of slides, please. Okay. So the text, I believe that the state inadvertently mischaracterized the evidence and testimony in the questioning. The last connection to a cell tower for Donna Adelson was at 8:59, not 8:35, correct?
For 8:59, for location, like location that we would use?
Yes.
I don't recall an 8:59 event.
Okay. I'm sorry. So you have the 8:59 as the text message,
That's correct.
and that's from Charlie Adelson's iCloud,
That is correct.
and you don't get location from that.
We do not. And so, probably important to point out, some of these are chats, so they're actually occurring over the data network. They're iMessage versus carrier-based text messaging, where we're more likely to see locations associated with text. So with the iCloud, and knowing that those are traversing the iMessage or the Apple network, it's common for us not to have locations attached to those.
So in that regard, iMessages aren't going to show up in call detail records.
They do not.
Other apps, communication apps, are not going to show up in call detail.
That's correct.
Now this tragedy took place a little over 11 years ago, correct?
Yes.
And up until your July 10th, 2025 deposition, you had not done the drive yourself, had you?
That's correct.
Did you do any research to determine what construction had taken place at I-95 between July 18th of 2014 and July 18th of 2025?
I-95 where?
Where you drove?
Not the, I know that there was a number of changes to I-95 at the area where it separates from the turnpike, the Florida Turnpike. I did specifically look at the turnpike in relation to Mr. Adelson's residence to make sure that there had been no changes in the roadway there.
Okay, so the turnpike, it's your testimony that in the last 11 years, the turnpike in that area has not been widened?
I don't recall it has been widened. The off-ramp is in the same location. The aerial photography is exactly the same for that exchange. And again, the drive was done because there was a question raised somewhere along the way about the ability to get off the turnpike and to Mr. Adelson's residence. And so just to clarify that, and that more research was done. And so again, looking at that, there's been a number of changes around that area. Water drainage has been filled in, buildings have been built, all kinds of things have happened, but the roadway itself remains the same.
So again, my question is, has the road been widened? Has there been construction?
There may have been construction and replacement. And I can say with certainty, and I can look at it again, but with certainty, the routes, the off-ramps, the exchanges are in the same position that they are. If the lanes are a little wider, there was no significant change in anything about getting off the turnpike and getting over to Mr. Adelson's road.
Sergeant Corby, I don't know if I'm asking a poor question or you're misunderstanding. Has there been construction on the turnpike in the last 11 years?
I'm sure there has, yes.
Did you do anything to determine if that had happened?
Yes.
Okay. And yet, you're still giving us a qualified answer.
You're asking about widening. I don't recall seeing, and again, the area that I looked at was the turnpike, the off-ramp of the turnpike, the exchange that goes to the east, and then connects with Mr. Adelson's road. There were no changes to that. If the turnpike was widened somewhere, that may be possible. I did not look for that. Again, I'm looking for the path of travel had not changed.
So you looked for records that would be consistent with the state's theory?
I looked
to establish that the route hadn't been altered in any way.
The question raised was, can you get off the turnpike and get to Charlie Adelson's residence? And the answer is yes.
Now, what were the traffic conditions on July 18th of 2014?
I do not know.
Did you do anything to try to find that out?
I did.
And what did you do?
I tried to research through Department of Transportation if they had traffic and crash data going back that far, and I did not find any.
Is that because the retention period had been exceeded?
Most likely, yes.
What is a retention period?
I do not know the exact retention period.
No, tell us what is a retention period.
I'm sorry, a retention period would be a policy of a holder of information for how long they hold that. And so carriers have retention periods for their cell phone records. It may be 1 year, and after 1 year, they purge that data. Could be 2 years, could be 10 years, but that retention period or is a policy for how long they retain records.
And so, as we sit here today, do you know the retention period for DHS&B to keep accident records?
I do not.
What about construction records for I-95 and the Turnpike?
I do not.
Did you do anything to collect construction records for I-95 or the Turnpike between July 18th of 2014 and the present day?
No.
How many lanes were on 95 between my client's residence in Miami Beach and her son's residence back in 2014?
I do not know the exact number.
What about now?
It varies. There were 6 or more in certain places. There was construction going on when I drove.
What about the Turnpike? How many lanes were on the Turnpike back in 2014?
Again, varies by the location where you're at, but 2 to 3 in any direction.
And what about now?
Same now. I say same now. Depending upon where we're talking about, so I'm looking at a very narrow stretch of the Turnpike. Talk about the Turnpike, it's in entirety. I'm sure it's undergone a lot of changes.
Now, when you did this drive, you had gas in your car, correct?
I did.
You did not have to stop for gas while you're doing this test drive, did you?
During those particular sessions or sections, no, I did not.
You had snacks with you?
I did.
So you didn't have to stop for snacks?
I did not have to.
Did you stop for any meals along the way during this drive test?
During these particular sessions or sections of road travel, no, I did not.
And there's a reason I'm going to ask this question. How old were you at the time you did this test?
55.
So not in your 60s, not in your 70s.
Not quite.
Ask about bathroom breaks. Is that why we're asking age?
Now, have you ever been on the highway and got behind a slow-moving vehicle? It frustrates you, right?
It may, yes.
And you have an opportunity to pass them, you drive by and you see older driving.
Sometimes, yes.
Do you know how fast Harvey and Donna Adelson were driving on July 18th of 2014?
I do not.
And so, not knowing how fast they are driving, can you give an accurate estimate for how long the drive would take them?
I think I can give an accurate estimate based on speed limit and distance, but as far as how which is, I believe, substantiated by segments of travel. So the travel from the 832 point to Charlie Adelson's was very consistent with the estimations. The travel from 1053 to the hotel, consistent with estimations.
I want to stop you right there. The 1053 point, can you pull that up, please?
I believe it's actually here.
Go to the next slide or series where we show 1053 to Orlando. Perfect. That section of the turnpike is not as in an area that is as densely populated as the section to the south, is it?
It's not.
Okay. And so the section south on the turnpike, you're going to get more commuter traffic than you will in this section, correct?
I would agree with that, yes.
And so you're not going to necessarily be in a stop and go traffic as you would if you were to the south.
Usually, yes, I would agree with that.
Now, was anything done, and let me ask this differently. Do you know whether or not at the time Donna and Harvey Adelson left their apartment on Miami Beach to start driving north, had they eaten dinner?
I do not know.
Did they have a full tank of gas?
Do not know.
How many times did they stop to go to the bathroom?
Do not know.
Did they stop to get coffee?
They may have.
This was late night.
I did.
And you're much younger than they were at the time. You stopped for coffee.
I did.
Which, let me just interject here. There is a rest stop on the turnpike every 45 minutes. It's not like you have to get off and go way out of your way to get coffee, okay? There is a rest area with restrooms, fast food restaurants, coffee, the whole nine. It's not like a little rinky-dink thing where you just stop and pee. It's like you have choices. You don't have to get off and go drive a million miles to try to find someplace. It's all there, right off the turnpike. You don't have to get off the turnpike. It's in the median, in the middle, for every 45 minutes, not 45 miles, 45 minutes on the turnpike. There is a place to get off and get all that. Right there, like right on the turnpike.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I like when we do Florida trials because I know stuff. Like you could pull over, go inside, go pee, grab a cup of coffee, 15 minutes you're back in your car and back on the road. $20, $25, $30 at the most.
Sergeant Corbett, you just made a statement that I believe your deposition testimony contradicted. You said the time that it would take to get from their residence to Charlie Adelson's residence. Can you, with the call detail records, place my client, Donna Adelson's handset at Charlie Adelson's residence on July 18th of 2014?
From cell site locations in the records? No.
Try to stay awake.
And
Boring.
at no point on July 18th of 2014 can you place Donna Adelson's handset and or Harvey Adelson's handset connecting to the same cell site at the same time as Charlie Adelson's handset.
That's correct.
So from the call detail records, You cannot testify, you cannot tell this jury that my client was at her son's house.
That's correct.
Nothing further.
Yes, sir. Did the text messages place Donna Adelson at Charlie Adelson's house?
I believe the outside your house text message is indicative of her being outside his house.
Okay, that's what Donna Adelson tells us in that text message, right?
I believe so, yes.
And then she has an hour and 6 minutes, was it, of unaccounted for time on the stretch of the drive that's on the same stretch of the drive where Charlie Adelson's house is, right?
Correct.
You got lots of, and did you do this drive in 2025 because the defense questioned the fact that you hadn't done it, didn't know if you could do it in the 2025 depot?
There was a question as to who raised it. I'm not certain.
Okay, thank you. You got lots of questions about construction on the turnpike.
Always.
Defense asked if their client could have gotten stopped for that extra hour that's unaccounted for in construction. Did Donna Adelson tell us in that text message where she stopped on the drive? Did she say she was outside of Charlie Adelson's house?
Agreed.
Okay, and then Charlie Adelson gave her his estimated time of arrival at the house for 10 minutes from then. Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
If the Adelsons were just driving really slow on that first part of the drive where they have over an hour of unaccounted for time, would they then have had to speed up to normal cruising speed for the second part of the drive where they made it from the 1053 location to Orlando in consistent, with a consistent amount of time as the estimated time that we see on Esri?
Yes. The second part of that, the second half, if we'll call it, of the trip was done at close to the estimated time. So the speed and travel were close to what would be expected. The first half of that trip, it was not.
Okay, and when you did the drive and went from the I believe was it 832 or 834 location?
Yes, one of those.
One of
Before
those.
before the end of the 835 call.
Okay, 834 location. When you did that drive, were you able to get on the same day of the week, the same time of Friday night, from that point to Charlie Adelson's house in the estimated amount of time?
I was, yes.
Okay, and same with the second part of the drive, from Charlie Adelson's house to the 1053 location. Was that consistent with the estimated time from Esri?
With just a few minutes, yes. Or within just a few minutes.
All right, and you would have been driving in the same conditions in North Miami, same date, same time of day as the Adelsons drove in 2014.
As close as I could get.
And did you say in this the emails for the Evite that Donna Adelson told Evite that she entered the invitees as contacts?
Correct.
In the beginning of cross-examination, defense asked you a bit about the things that could affect cell site towers, several variables that could affect cell site towers. But if those variables existed that affected cell sites and kept cell site towers from having too much load to be able to handle this communication, would we see phone communication with those cell site towers in the records as we do?
Again, if the tower was not operational, no, the handset is not going to communicate with it. But those things, again, when we're talking about the inclusion and exclusion, where a handset could be, we're aware that there may be cell sites that are closer, that may be stronger, bigger, taller, and all of that we take into consideration when we estimate the area that might be consistent with where the handset was.
Is there anything in the records that caused you to believe these records or analysis is unreliable in any way?
No.
Just a second. No further questions, thank you.
Sergeant, you may step down, finally.
Finally.
Thanks, sir.
Will this wit- There you go. Please call your next witness.
As the next witness, based on his former employment as the witness that we would ask the camera not display his face. So I would ask for an instruction on that at this time.
Very well.
Undercover?
The witness's face is not to be displayed based on his prior employment in law enforcement. Certainly his voice and audio may be broadcast, but not his face.
Judge, before the witnesses testimony, and we have a very brief recess.
That's fine. Members of the jury, the bailiff will take you to the jury room. You all can be seated. Please use the restroom or stretch your legs now if you need to before we resume with the testimony.
For what? The turnpike information? You're welcome. It wasn't much. At least I know a little something. I don't know any law. I'm just winging it here. But yeah, the last time we went to, that Travis and I went down to Disney, I kept telling him, because I needed to stop to go to the bathroom. And I kept telling him that there was a service plaza on the left before we got off the turnpike. And he misunderstood me. He thought I meant like, get off the turnpike and then go left. And he stayed in the right lane. And I kept saying, get in the left lane, get in the left lane. And he was still in the right lane. And I'm like, Travis, what are you doing? You got to get in the left lane. And he goes, oh, it's in the middle. I said, I told you it was on the left. He said, well, you should have said it was in the middle. I said, I did. I told you it was on the left. He goes, well, I thought you meant you get off the turnpike and then go left. I said, that's not what I said. I said it's on the left. Well, you should have said it was in the middle. Oh, my God. It's so hard to navigate when you call things different things. Like, okay, so when we first got married, well, even when we were dating, it was hard because I would say, like, turn right at the next light. To me, that means the next light coming up. But to him, the next light is not the next light coming up. It's the next light to him is this light. The next light would be the light after this light. So I would be saying, turn right at the next light. And he would think it was the light after that. So when we first were dating and first got married, we had a lot of problems. And he always, I don't know how it happened, but I became the navigator. So anytime we went anywhere, I became the navigator. And, okay, Travis has Tourette's. And he, you know, there's this myth about Tourette's that they cannot control what they say, and that's not true. And you hear about like the uncontrollable cussing and stuff that they do. That is not true. I don't know how that got started. They have, to be diagnosed, they have one vocal tic and one facial tic, or physical tic. It doesn't have to be a facial tic. So Travis has facial tics and some vocal tics, but the only time, and he doesn't do it anymore, I broke him of it, but the only time that he cussed bad was in traffic. That's the only time that he cussed really bad. And if you guys know me, I don't like to cuss. I will occasionally cuss, like I did this morning. I occasionally, but I don't like to. So I broke him of the cussing, but it used to be we would get in traffic and get lost, and he would be depending on me to navigate. And we were learning, the terms on how we said things, and we'd get lost or whatever. And he would start not cussing at me, just cussing, because he was frustrated with traffic and everything. And at the time, it was very stressful, but then afterwards, it would get funny, and we'd start giggling. And then when we started using like Google Maps and stuff, and like when this was the day that he was going to meet my dad and my stepmom. We were to meet at, what's it called? Dixie Stamp Dollywood, not Dollywood, the park thing in Orlando. And I'd been at his house. He lived in Polk County at the time, which is like an hour away from Orlando. And so we were to meet my dad and my stepmom in Orlando, and he lived in Mulberry, which is right outside of Lakeland, which is Polk County, and it's like an hour away. So we were late. So he didn't, like, he met my dad, but they didn't really get to have a conversation or anything. But that stupid GPS had us going around in circles. We could not find the Dixie Stampede, and we were late, and he was cussing and cussing and cussing. I'm like, stop, Travis. You've got to stop and calm down. You're fixing to meet my dad for the first time. You have got to calm down. And we started giggling, and it got to be funny because she'd be like, rerouting. Turn left at the light and make a U-turn. So we're in Orlando on whatever road the Dixie Stampede is. I mean, it was like right there. We could see the sign, but we couldn't figure out where to turn, and we were like U-turn, just like going in a circle. And I'm just thinking, my dad is in there waiting for us, and he is going to kill me when we finally get there. And Travis just like cussing up a storm, and I'm like, would you stop? You need to stop and calm down. You're about to meet my dad for the first time. It was so funny. Eventually, like at the time, not so much, but later it was funny. But we finally made it. We had a good time, and it all turned out well. But it seemed like for a while, every trip we took together, and we tried to use it between me navigating and the GPS, it always got screwed up. Something always went wrong. It was like every single time. And I'm like, why do you always make me navigate? This happens every time we go anywhere. Why? Why do you make me navigate? You know this happens every time. And it's usually not me. It's usually, now that we've got it straightened out, that it's this red light, not next red light, like I know now what he understands, the way he understands things. So I know now what to say. We've got that straightened out now. So if it goes wrong, it's usually the GPS. And when I went to, I know how to get to Disney World, but for some reason, I always get lost on the way home. I don't know why. For some reason, I used the GPS going down there the other night, and it took me a different way, and I was like, uh-oh, it's taking me a different way. I don't know this way, so I've got to pay close attention, or now I'm going to be lost going down there instead of just going back. So it actually took me a different way, and it said it was faster. It must have been faster because I left at 12, and I got down there in 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it usually takes 2.5 hours. It took me, I came back the same way I went, and it took me 2.5 hours to get home. But I realized, okay, Travis, he checked the oil, he put air in my tires, he made sure, he topped off the gas tank, he made sure that everything was good with the car. But I don't think I need new headlights. The cover, like the lens cover or whatever, has gotten cloudy. My car is a 2001. So that cover has gotten cloudy. And I had trouble seeing on the way home in the dark. So I drove a little slower. And I think that's why it took me 15 minutes more to get home, because I was driving a little slower because it was harder to see. And he said, and when I told him, he said, well, you could have just left your brights on, because since it's cloudy, they probably wouldn't have blinded drivers coming towards you anyways because it's cloudy. And I was like, well, I thought about doing that, but I wasn't sure. So I was, still dimming my lights. But yeah, that was a little scary. And then like I said, they're always doing construction. Always. I've never been on the turnpike that they've not been doing construction. So there's a wall erected in the middle of the turnpike. So I'm in the left lane with the wall here, and I've got semis on my right, and I can't see because my headlights are not. The headlights are fine. It's the lens cover thingies, which I read somewhere you can clean them with toothpaste, and it's supposed to take the cloudiness away, but I don't know. But yeah, and they're nice. Like, I thought one of them had a Krispy Kreme in it, and I was gonna stop and get Harry Potter donuts, because I still haven't had the Harry Potter donuts, and they're gonna be gone probably before I get to a Krispy Kreme, because I live out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna stop and get Harry Potter donuts, and it's not a Krispy Kreme, it's a Dunkin'. Like, darn it. But yeah, and they have different things in each one. Like, one has a KFC, and then another one has a Wendy's, and then another one, it's like, so you have your variety. Look, you have a variety as you go down the turnpike. So, whatever you're craving, you don't ever have to get off the turnpike. It's got everything. It's really, really nice. And they have Jelly Bellies. I love Jelly Bellies. That's usually what I do is I stop at 1 or 2 and I get back to Jelly Bellies and I eat when I go on trips down the
All right.
have convenience stores in them, restaurants, and they have
Just one
souvenir, like
moment.
Disney
For the gallery,
souvenirs.
once again,
Whether you
just
go to
as a
Disney or not,
reminder,
you can
while
get
the testimony is
Disney
taking
souvenirs
place
in 'em.
today, if you
They're
step
amazing
outside of the
restaurants.
court.
But yeah, I mean, and that's exactly why they're laid out like that. So you don't ever have to get off the turnpike. You just, pull over for a few minutes, do what you need to do, and then get going. I love my state. Everybody says, everybody in Florida's crazy. No, we just show you. We share our craziness with the world. We have that sunshine law. So everybody sees our craziness. It's not that we're any crazier than anywhere else. We just share our craziness with the world. And my husband's ex, her husband is from Tennessee, and he told me the other day that when his daughters were little, they used to all the time say, Mommy and Doug are going to move to Tennessee. And I was like, oh, really? Well, if they move to Tennessee now, tough. I said, please do. They're grown now, but anyway. I was like, please don't ever move me out of Florida. Please don't ever move me out of Florida, because I don't ever want to leave Florida. I love Florida. Beaches, springs. I love the springs. We live right down the road from Manatee Springs. Manatees swim up into the springs all the time. It's so fun. And then, of course, I have the theme parks close by, and the beaches, and St. Augustine. St. Augustine's 2 hours. We go over there sometimes. We do stuff over there. And then we're 2 hours from Georgia. We haven't been up there in a while, but we went. There's Wild Adventures. It's a theme park / zoo up there. And then we're close. We're like 2 hours from Jacksonville. We have the Jacksonville Zoo up there. Like, we're in a perfect area. We're like, well, the springs are right down the road, and then all of the other like really, really good spots are within 2 to 3 hours of us. There is, however, something in South Florida I want to do really bad. We have one of those drive-through safari places, and I've never been to one of those, and I want to go so bad. And there is one in South Florida. But, like, if we do that, that's going to mean getting a hotel room and everything. That's not a day trip because it's too far. But I really want to do that one day. And then Busch Gardens is another one. It's like 4, 5 hours maybe. So that would be another one that we couldn't do in a day. And I haven't been to Busch Gardens since I was a little girl. I might have been a teenager, but young teenager. But yeah, I like Florida. I went to New York. My brother lives in New York, and I went to New York, and we went to a museum up there, to the Natural History Museum. And I'm like, what's all this stuff made out of? And he goes, it's real. And I was like, what? And he goes, it's real, Debbie. And I was like, no way. And he goes, yeah, it's real. I was like, what? Like, I'm from the land of make-believe. I didn't realize all this stuff in the museum was real. Everything's fake where I live. I mean, there's like a gigantic blue whale hanging from the ceiling in that museum. And I'm like, what is that? It's a blue whale, Debbie. No, what's it made of? It's a blue whale, Debbie. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Oh, is my mic screwing up again? Ugh. I hate this mic. Next time I get a mic, I'm going to get one that has numbers on the side.
April 19th of 2016.
I was.
Now I don't know
Can you
who's on the
explain
stand.
what the operation was?
My role in the operation was that.
May I interrupt you for just one moment? Could we approach you?
Oh, that's right. This is the undercover guy. And now they turn the sound on, and now they want to approach. So they didn't say his name. I'm just going to put undercover guy. And Shadow messed up my laptop. I don't know what she did. Girl, come fix my laptop. You messed it up. You must know how to fix it. I'm going to send you to Aunt Judy. Okay, well. No, next time I get a mic, I'm going to get one that has numbers on it so I can tell if I'm going louder or quieter, because this has nothing but colors on the little knob, and I can't tell when there's a little wheel, and I can't tell whether I'm going softer or louder. And then if StreamYard goes wonky, it'll screw up my sound anyways, and I can't tell what's happening, and it drives me crazy. And I hate that, because you guys, you're like, well, we can't hear you. Well, I can't fix it. I'll try to fix it, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I make it worse, because I can't tell with this mic. It's probably a good mic. I just don't, and it didn't come with good directions, so I just don't know which way to turn the wheel. It's like trial and error. I have to say, okay, is it better? Is it better? Is it better? And it's been doing pretty good, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm just gonna leave it.
So my role in the operation was of a gang member, and what I was instructed to do was to contact and bump Donna Adelson.
What does bump mean?
A bump is a law enforcement operation during which an undercover agent or an undercover police officer would conduct a face-to-face meeting or encounter with a subject or a person of interest in an investigation. And what we look for, the results we look to get would be one or a combination of either I would try to extract, or the undercover would try to extract information, or they would try to pass on information, or possibly set up a future meeting with the individual, or tickle a wire or a telephonic intercept, or tickle a wire.
In this case, was it an attempt to tickle a wire?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so we had a wiretap going at the time that you did the bump.
Yes.
Okay. And what does tickle the wire mean?
Well, when you tickle the wires, when you're doing a Title III, what we call a Title III, a phone intercept, and there's not much activity going on that phone intercept, what you want to do is approach somebody and see if they will start talking about whatever the investigation is looking into.
All right, so you were asked to approach Donna Adelson. Is that what you did?
That is correct.
Where did that happen?
I believe that happened in South Miami, somewhere near her residence.
Okay. And did you just walk up to her on the street, sidewalk?
I did.
Okay. And what did you do?
Well, I was instructed to walk up to her and engage her in small discussion as to why I was meeting with her, and then eventually handing her a flyer.
Fine.
Okay. Is that what you did?
Yes.
All right. And I'm going to show you the flyer. I've marked as States Exhibit 83.
Okay.
Is that what you handed Mrs. Adelson?
And this is it, yes.
Okay, Judge, I'd ask to introduce States 83.
States 83 is in the.
Okay, so it's a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet paper. All right. Regular piece of paper.
Yes,
Okay. With a printout of an article relating to the murder of Dan Markel. Is that right?
that is correct.
And at this time, it's been a couple of years since the murder of Mr. Markel.
Yes.
Okay. And over here in handwritten, can you say what was printed there?
Yes, just call and text, and that's my undercover cell phone number and the $5,000 which was being asked for.
Okay, and this cell phone number that it belongs to the phone number that's written here, are you personally going to carry that around and answer it if someone calls it?
That is correct. That's solely in my hands, and I'm the only one answering. Or
Right.
a voicemail would answer.
And is there something you need to do if that occurs to record the phone call in question?
Well, the way, and I can't reveal too much tradecraft, but if I received a call and it went to voicemail, it would do a remote recording. It wouldn't be on the actual phone, so I didn't have access to any voicemails.
Okay, but if you're going to take the call, is there something you do that causes the call to be recorded?
Well, yes, I had to do something on the phone.
All right. Was the interaction, the bump that we're referring to it as, where you approached Donna Adelson and spoke with her, was that audio recorded?
It was audio and video recorded, yes.
How was it recorded?
I had an audio and video on my person, and I believe the surveillance security team also recorded that.
So we've got one angle that's what you're wearing and another angle
That is correct.
Have you had an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 112, a thumb drive containing those two recordings?
Yes, I have.
And are those fair and accurate recordings, both of what you were wearing as well as the one taken from across the street?
Yes, they are.
Move into evidence States 112, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 112 is admitted.
I'm showing you States 117. Are those your initials on 117?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Were there phone calls that were made from or to the phone number on the phone flyer in connection with this investigation?
Yes.
Are those phone calls contained on States Exhibit 117?
Yes, they are.
Move into evidence States 117, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 117 is admitted.
And States 117, those are all the phone calls associated with this number on the sheet here. We've got one from you to the Adelson Institute Family Business. Recall that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then one from Charlie Adelson to this phone number, is that right?
Yes.
And one from Donna Adelson to this phone number, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and those are all the phone calls. Nobody else called the number during the course of this operation that was answered?
That was
Right.
answered,
Okay,
correct.
there were a couple missed calls, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I have a question.
Sure.
When you indicated that you were playing the role of a gang member, what does that mean?
Well, a gang member is anybody that's involved in any type of organization or regarding criminal activity, involved in criminal activity.
Well, I know what a gang member is. I'm asking what were you going to do? What were you trying to portray yourself as? How was your demeanor? How were you going to act as a gang member?
You mean during the bump?
Yes, sir.
I was actually very friendly.
For the bump that was on the street?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Adelson told you that you scared her, didn't she?
I think she was startled. I mean, I'm not good looking, so maybe that scared her, but
Were you dressed up all pretty like you are today?
no, ma'am.
How were you dressed?
Just jeans and t-shirt and open.
Say you were friendly, and were you?
I was.
Did you invite her out to lunch?
No, not exactly.
Okay. The area that you met her at, how was that selected?
That I don't have the specifics. Special Agent Pat Sanford would be better to answer that.
Were you aware when you went out there that where you would run into her at that specific time of day? I mean, you just didn't stand there all day waiting for her, right?
I did not.
Okay. You knew a specific time in general that you thought you would see her there, correct?
The investigative team, I'm sure, did their homework and they knew, so.
Okay. Are you aware that that's the route that she took from where she was living down the block to pick up her grandchildren from school?
I was made aware of that, yes.
Thank you. Now, in the bump, with the flyer that you handed to Miss Adelson, you had some information on there, $5,000. And when you spoke to her, what did you say to her?
Well, when I engaged her, to the best of my recollection, I said to her that we know that their problem up north had been taken care of, and that Katie and Tuto are continuing or being taken care of, and my brother Tato has not been taken care of. He and his family have not been taken care of, and that they should take care of him and his family, something to that effect, him and his family, like they are taking care of Katie and Tuto.
And who's Tuto?
Tuto, from what I understand, was Sigfredo Garcia.
And who was Tato?
Tato was Luis Rivera.
You have a really interesting accent.
Yeah, that's because I'm fluent in Spanish. Yes.
Okay. Are you of Spanish descent, or you just have learned that?
I am.
You are? Okay. Thank you. You do it very well.
Thank you.
So you tell her that you know that her family is taking care of Tuto and Katie, but not your brother Tato.
Correct.
And Tato is Luis Rivera,
Correct.
and he was incarcerated at that time.
Correct.
And you told her that in the Broward County Jail, the two of you have been together, right?
I don't believe on the bump I said that.
Okay. And you tell her that you need $5,000 to take care of Tato, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And she told you she didn't know what you were talking about.
Well, during the bump, I didn't mention the 5,000 or anything. I didn't mention the money.
The piece of paper said $5,000.
Well, the paper did, but verbally I didn't say it to her.
You said they needed to take care of Tato,
Yes, but I didn't say the dollar amount.
but you handed her a piece of paper and it
did.
had it on there, correct?
Sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
She didn't pay you the $5,000, did she?
I don't believe they ever did.
Okay, and that was on April the 19th of 2016, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So that's the 19th. As of the 23rd, you still had not heard from Mrs. Adelson, and so you sent her a letter, did you not?
That letter I did not physically do it. That was the investigative team that wrote and sent that letter.
Were you aware of it?
At the time, I wasn't.
Did you become aware of it?
Later on, yes.
Okay. And the gist of it was, nobody had heard back from her, correct?
I don't remember reading that letter.
So, but you're aware the letter was sent, right?
Later on, yes.
Okay. And then move forward all the way up to April the 28th of 2016. Mrs. Adelson has not called you back, correct?
I don't remember the dates that, accurately. I don't remember.
Okay, well, there's a phone call that's been introduced into evidence, so.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but you're asking me before that. I guess on the 28th I received a call.
Well, on the 28th, you actually called the Adelson Institute, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did call.
Okay.
Yes,
So you were the first call then? You
Yes,
called the Adelson Institute?
correct.
And
correct.
you were trying to reach Donna Adelson?
That is correct.
But she was not there?
Correct.
So you left a message saying, you're Sammy, and you haven't heard back from her, and let her know I called?
That is correct.
Okay. But she doesn't call you back right then, does she?
No, she did not.
And she didn't pay you the $5,000 you were looking for, correct?
Did not.
Okay. And so you called the Adel Institute and get no response. So then, May the 4th of 2016, you sent a text to Donna Adelson at 2:09 in the morning, correct?
That is correct.
And on that text, you said, still have not heard from Donna. Wait a minute, no, I'm sorry. So you don't take me serious. You think I'm playing. You have some puta?
I think Puto.
Puto, call me to see if I'm for real. If you think what Katie baby daddy did for you can't come back, you're, excuse my language, fucking crazy. I want and then it doesn't say, now, or I'm going after the 100K. Right?
That's what I was told to write, yes.
Wasn't very polite there, was it?
Well, that's usually how somebody that's blackmailing somebody or extorting somebody in the criminal world would probably talk to somebody, yes.
Sure, it's more aggressive, right?
Absolutely.
Because you want her to incriminate herself by talking to you, pay the $5,000. You're looking for her to talk, right?
I'm just looking for her to send the money.
But she didn't send the money, did she?
She did not.
Okay. And then you got a call on, let's see, that was May the 4th. You still don't hear from Donna. But on May the 6th, no. May the 4th, you get a call from Charlie Adelson,
That is correct.
and you talked to him,
I did.
right? And that recording is in evidence, so we don't need to talk about that. But basically, you don't get anywhere with Charlie. He doesn't offer to pay you the $5,000, right?
No, it-
Did he offer to pay you the $5,000?
no, he did not.
Okay, thank you. And then finally, on May the 6th, Donna Adelson calls you back on that number that you had put on the paper, correct?
That is correct.
And we're going to listen to the call for another witness, but the gist of it is, she's telling you, you tell her you know everything about everybody involved, right?
Correct.
And she tells you, you got the wrong person, I'm not involved, correct?
She did.
And she tells you, if you know everybody who was involved, go to the police, right?
She just said, go get the money from it. She didn't say, if I know everybody. She just said, I believe she said, just go collect the money.
We'll play it so we'll know the exact
Okay.
words. But
That's fine.
she didn't offer to give you the $5,000 then.
No,
And she encouraged you to go get the $100,000, which was the reward at that time for
she did.
providing information regarding the homicide of Dan Markel.
She did.
Okay.
Take your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day. I'm done with my questions.
Redirect examination.
So we're gonna watch the video a little later with another witness, but did Donna Adelson have any children with her when you approached her?
She did not.
Okay, nothing further.
You may step down. Will the witness be recalled at all? You are released. Have a good day.
Keep them under the state subpoena, so that we can call in our case in chief. Please.
Very well. The defense may call you as a witness. They will let you know if they choose to do so or not. Have a good day.
My understanding is that we're to coordinate that through Investigator Newman at the city attorney's office.
Yes.
So we'll keep you informed.
Please call your next witness.
State calls Special Agent Bronstein.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn, Special Agent. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone if you need to. You may examine when you're ready.
Please say your name and spell your name.
Special Agent Louis Bronstein, Louis Bronstein.
How are you employed?
I'm a special agent with the FBI.
How were you employed back in April of 2016?
special agent with the FBI.
All right, and did you participate in a surveillance operation on April 20th of that year involving Charlie Adelson?
Yes.
Was your involvement in that operation related to a wiretap that was happening simultaneous with the surveillance operation?
Yes.
What was your role in the operation?
That day I started off on physical surveillance of the undercover bump operation for officer safety purposes. And then for the remainder of the day, I was to be available for surveillance as needed.
Did you conduct some surveillance at a restaurant by the name of Dolce Vita in Miami?
Yes.
Where is that restaurant located?
North of Miami Beach. I don't remember the exact intersection.
Sunny Isles Beach, sound right?
Yes.
Are you from, I guess you said you did surveil the bump that took place earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your objective at the Dolce Vita restaurant?
Moved towards the Dolce Vita restaurant with the intent of conducting physical and technical surveillance of the meeting inside. Upon arrival in the parking lot, I met up with a technical agent from the FBI and received surveillance equipment in a bag. And I made my way into the restaurant and got situated as close as I could to Charlie and Katie.
Were some photographs taken of, is it Charlie Adelson you're referencing and Katie Catherine Magdanoa?
Yes.
Were some photographs taken of them outside the restaurant?
I believe so.
Okay, was that before or after the meeting that you're referencing?
I don't know that I can speak to that. I was not doing photography at the time.
All right, let me just show you what I marked as State's Exhibit 137 to 140. Are you able to recognize these exhibits as photos of those two that were taken outside the restaurant where you did your surveillance on the occasion we're talking about?
Yes.
So I'll make sure they're all fair and accurate.
Yes.
Okay. Judge, at this time I'd ask to move into evidence 137 through 140.
Any objection? States 137 through 140. No.
Publishing 137. Publishing 138. Publishing 139. Publishing 140.
Donna Adelson, her daughter divorced, and they lived in Tallahassee, and she wanted to relocate to Miami where her mom and dad lived. And the judge in the divorce case said, no, you cannot relocate ever. And they had money, the grandparents. They had a dental practice in Miami, and her son was a dentist, and she kept the books for the dental office, and they had a lot of money. And so her husband was a dentist, her son was a dentist, she did the books, they all had the dental practice together. And Wendy, the daughter, was a lawyer. Her ex-husband was a lawyer who was a professor at FSU, and so his job was in Tallahassee. So he didn't want to move down there. She hated living in Tallahassee. She wanted to move back. So her mother decided that he needed to die. So she got her son, who was dating a woman whose baby daddy was a criminal, to put a hit on Dan Markel, which was her ex-husband. And he got someone to help him do it. So they rented a car and drove to Tallahassee and shot him. So the 2 gunmen are in jail, and the girlfriend and the son, and now the mom is on trial. She was arrested at the airport leaving for Vietnam because there's no extradition treaty with Vietnam. And Wendy, the daughter, the ex-wife, has testified in her brother's trial and her mother's trial, and she's been given limited immunity to testify in the 2 trials. But what I've heard from other lawyers on YouTube is that they needed her to convict Charlie and Donna. And when those 2 trials are over, that then he thinks they're going to go after Wendy. Because, of course, she, at the very least, she knew about it. The morning that he was shot, she was going to drive by the house in order to go to a store to buy. She was going to a Stock the Bar party, which I've never heard of in my life, but apparently it's a thing where people will ask you to buy a type of liquor to stock their bar. I've never heard of that before, and instead of like going on main roads to the liquor store, she was going to cut through her ex's neighborhood to get to the liquor store. But she couldn't get through because of all of the police vehicles and stuff. So why would she do that? She said, oh, it's just habit, because that's the way I used to go to that store. Of course she knew about it. I think she knew the whole time, and I think she's very much involved. I hope they get her.
When you entered the restaurant, how close to the target subjects were you able to position yourself?
I'd say about 10 to 12 feet.
Okay, so just at the next table?
So, yeah, I want to say it would be the next table over, but there was possibly a span where there should have been a table, so just estimating, based off recollection, it would be about 12 feet.
All right, and did the bag contain any video equipment?
I believe so.
All right, so you were recording both video and audio of this restaurant conversation?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the equipment that was inside the bag there?
I had not seen it before that day. That was my first look at it.
Did
But
you understand how to operate it when you went into the restaurant to use it?
Yes.
Okay, so you were able to successfully capture that restaurant conversation with
That's
that
correct.
equipment? Okay. Can you describe anything about their demeanor that you observed during this conversation?
It was tough to hear because of the air conditioning system. Based on visual observation, body language, they were having a conversation with each other. They were paying attention to what each other was saying. I could not make out very many particular words, except there was a moment where the AC was abnormally quiet for the restaurant. I did hear something, but it was a very small snippet of a sentence. They maintained their conversation with each other, and throughout the duration of my sitting in there, I became less and less worried that they would notice me sitting nearby because they were paying very close attention to what each other was saying.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the recordings of the that came out of the operation from that day?
Yes.
Okay, and are they fair and accurate recordings?
Yes.
And I asked you the date, April 20th of 16, but I didn't ask you the time. Do you know the time that meeting occurred, time of day?
Afternoon around 3:45 or 4.
And I asked you if you had an opportunity to review it, States Exhibit 114. Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move 114 into evidence.
Any objection? States 114 is admitted.
Any efforts to clarify the audio from that recording and try to take out some of that background noise, would that have anything to do with you, or would that be somebody else's job?
That's somebody else's work.
All right, no further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Doesn't the FBI have like high-tech mics?
You may step down. Will be
Take care
recalled
of
by
that
the
kind
party.
of stuff?
You are released. Please call your next witness.
Oh, I was on surveillance. I followed them in the restaurant, but I couldn't hear anything they said. What's up with that? It defeats the purpose. At least you can say, well, they met. They had some kind of meeting. They could have been talking about their vacation plans. I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Well, if they got a cleaned up tape, hopefully that'll tell them something.
Please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear or speak loudly?
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
James Keith McElveen, M-C-E-L-V-E-E-N.
How are you employed?
I work as a forensic scientist. I'm an electrical engineer. I work at Wave Sciences in Charleston, South Carolina.
And what type of work do you perform at that business?
I mostly do audio research, particularly in forensics.
Can you describe your education and experience in that field?
I am a master's level engineer, electrical engineer, and I've had 35 going on 40 years of experience.
And as part of your work, do you clarify audio recordings?
I do. I also sit on committees that write international standards for audio forensics.
And approximately how long have you been doing the type of work that you did in this case specifically?
Probably about 25 to 30 years now.
Judge, at this time, I would tender the witness as an expert in the field of
Maybe they'll
electrical
play the tape.
engineering.
Maybe he got it
Electrical
cleared up.
engineering,
Electrical engineering and forensics.
electrical
forensics.
engineering, and audio forensics, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to voir dire the witness?
Not on these topics.
Thank
Any
God.
objection to him providing an opinion while testifying?
No, Your Honor.
Members of the jury, the witness will be permitted to testify in the form of an opinion in the fields of electrical engineering and audio forensics. You may continue.
And I think you testified you have a master's in electrical engineering, is that right?
That's correct.
And you were the program manager for a government organization that included tech ops work?
Yes,
Okay, and also have done some work with private companies doing government contract type of work, is that right?
yes.
Okay. Did you found the company that you're currently with?
I did.
Have you published articles related to your field?
Yes, I have, multiple.
Have you ever testified as an expert before in this area?
I have.
Okay, were you asked to clarify some recordings made at the Dolce Vita restaurant in association with this case?
Yes, I was.
What items were you provided with?
2 audio video recordings from 2 different devices that were in the restaurant, one of which had better video and one of which had better audio.
Okay, and were you able to put those together and give us the best product that you know how to give us to help us make out the words the best we can?
Yes,
All right, and in that process, do you do anything that changes or alters the speaking voices that are on the audio recording?
Only how do I put this? We don't alter the subject's voice. We leave it natural and as untouched as possible. What we do is suppress everything else that's not in that place we're trying to focus on.
What were the issues with this particular exhibit as far as being able to hear it in its raw form?
Well, it was a restaurant and a busy restaurant. There was everything from typical restaurant noises with coffee grinders and espresso machines and such as that going on. The position of the recording devices also made them pick up noises coming from the kitchen. So there was dishwasher and vegetable chopping type sounds going on back there, kids screaming, voices playing, and a television. So it's easier probably to list what wasn't on the recording than what was.
Okay. And can you explain the process you used to clarify the audio on this exhibit?
Yes. So what we do is we treat the sound that's captured on the recording more like it's the light captured by a camera. So if you do any photography and you use a lens, you may think of the kind of the classic taking a picture down a picket fence. And you can focus on one of the wooden slats in the fence and it's sharp, but all the rest of them in the foreground and the background are blurred out and maybe invisible. So that's our approach, and we're able to set the focus spot on the subjects that we were asked to enhance, and then blur out, like those missing pickets in the fence, everything else in the restaurant.
Okay. And are the results of your audio efforts contained on the exhibit in front of you, State's Exhibit 115?
Yes.
All right, and did you also, for us, pair the audio with the video that was available of that particular event?
In Dolce Vita, we did not.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 116, which does include both the audio, the video, and the transcript of that event?
Yes, although we did not review the transcript content.
Okay.
We did review the audio and the video, and it does match the enhanced audio that we provided.
Okay, so everything seems to be appropriately lined up with the audio clarification that you did.
Yes, I just don't want to step outside my role as in audio forensics and speak to a transcript.
Understood. All right, Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence States 115 and 116.
Any objection?
If I understand the witness's testimony, he's not able to say that the transcript is accurate?
That was Ms. McBaniel's part, Your Honor.
She has already authenticated as a part of her testimony.
No objection, Your Honor.
States 115 and 116 are admitted.
Did you also do some work on State's Exhibit 132, a recording from a Matt Surrey restaurant?
I did.
All right, and were the same processes that you previously described with the prior exhibit used on this one as well?
They were.
Okay, and does State's Exhibit 132 contain the audio product that you generated?
Yes.
Okay, and has the audio been paired with the video accurately in State's Exhibit 133, also in front of you?
Yes.
All right, Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence States 132 and 133.
Any objection?
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Don't you dare.
No objection, Your Honor.
States 132 and 133 are admitted.
All right, and then you also have an Exhibit 118 in front of you. Did you do some work on a phone call? Phone call?
Yes.
Okay. And is the work that you did on clarifying that phone call fairly and accurately contained on State's Exhibit 118?
Yes, it is.
All right, Judge, that's just for identification only at this time. No further questions.
Very well. Cross-examination.
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Play any of these?
Sorry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, with respect to the second restaurant footage that you enhanced, am I to understand that you enhanced an enhancement more recently? Did you provide additional materials recently to the state attorney's office?
What we did was not an enhancement. We only took the audio track and put it with the video track. So
That's what you-
we
that-
didn't touch anything but just basically saved the processed audio that we did and the original video and just saved it in a different format.
Okay, so then that's what you did recently?
Yes.
Okay,
So no enhancement done in that step.
okay. And then, were you ever provided with the audio of the interview done by law enforcement of Wendy Adelson on July 18th of 2014?
No, I was not.
And specifically, the end of that interview when Miss Wendy Adelson calls my client.
Not to my recollection. I do not believe so.
And so the government did not ask you to do that?
Correct.
Just a moment.
No, I just said, don't you dare I thought he was going to object. And when are we going to get to hear these tapes?
Redirect examination.
They keep talking about these surveillances, and they're going to come in with another witness. When? I want to see them and hear them.
You may step down, sir. Will he be recalled by either party?
No, Your Honor.
You are released. Have a good day. Please call your next witness.
They call Special Agent Brian Kimball.
Jen, this happened in Florida. I was telling them about the turnpike because the defense attorney was trying to make it out like, though they were old and they probably had to stop and go pee and get coffee because it was late. And I'm like, there's a rest stop every 45 minutes on the turnpike. They didn't have to get off and go driving all over the place to find a bathroom or to get coffee. Or I was like, I like it when there's trials in Florida. I know stuff.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat.
Thank you.
Please speak loudly and clearly.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Patrick Sanford, Sanford. I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
How long have you been employed with the FBI?
Approximately 26 years.
Sorry, one moment.
I don't know what my cat's been
Were
on my
you
laptop.
asked
I don't know
to
what she did.
assist in the investigation of the murder of Dan Markel?
Yes, I was.
How did you get involved in that investigation?
I was called originally to assist with outside leads on the case. There were some interviews and some other follow-up things that happened outside the state of Florida that they asked me to assist with. And as the investigation continued, I became more and more involved.
The other guy retired and kind of left you holding the bag, right?
He did.
Okay. Are you familiar with Luis Rivera and his role in this case?
I am.
Were you a part of the initial interview of Luis Rivera when he was attempting to become a witness in the case?
Yes, I was.
And do you know the date on which his proffer was given?
I could refer to some notes.
Okay, if I said the date, would you be able to tell me if it sounds
would.
right or not? September 30th of 2016?
Yes.
All right, and the investigation had been ongoing for some time at that point, right? I mean, the murder occurred in 14.
That's correct.
Okay, and in the proffer that was given by Luis Rivera, was there anything new, particularly interested in anything new that you were able to corroborate that law enforcement didn't already know before that interview?
Yes, there was.
What was that?
One thing was he told us the day before the homicide occurred that him and Sigfredo Garcia were riding around in the green Prius in Tallahassee when Mr. Garcia accidentally shot a hole in the floorboard of the Prius, and it actually disabled the vehicle, and Mr. Garcia had to actually fix the vehicle to get it running again.
At the time that you conducted the interview of Rivera, you knew that they had rented the Prius, right?
That's correct.
Law enforcement had already traveled to the location in Miami where the Prius was rented and identified the car and the VIN number and all those things, right?
That's correct. I had been down there and done all that.
Okay, but we didn't know to look for this hole in the floorboard.
No, there was carpet in the floorboard and you couldn't see it.
Okay. Did law enforcement, in an attempt to corroborate this new fact, go back to locate the vehicle again and see if there was in fact any evidence of what Rivera was describing?
We did.
Okay, I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as 48 through 52. Do you recognize these exhibits?
I do.
Are these fair and accurate photos of the vehicle once you found it for this second time after Rivera's interview?
Yes, they are.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence states 48 and 52.
Any objection?
No objection.
They are admitted.
May I publish?
You may.
Publishing states 48. Had the vehicle changed hands by this time?
Yes, it had been sold by the rental company.
And had it been repainted?
It had.
Were you still able to see at some of the seams of the vehicle where that silver pine mica color, you could still kind of tell was the previous color?
That's correct. Like in the door jambs and under the hood, there was some clues of that.
All right, State's Exhibit 49, were you able to confirm this was in fact the correct vehicle by the VIN number?
That's correct.
State's Exhibit 50, what does this image show?
It shows the passenger side of the vehicle. It has a directional rod put through where the bullet hole traveled, shows the direction of travel.
So the hole was still there under the carpeting.
The hole was still there in the carpet, correct.
Publishing States 51. Did the hole actually puncture the gas line as Rivera described?
That's correct. That is the fuel line that you see there with some kind of mechanical piece attached to it to put it back together to make it run again.
States Exhibit 52.
And there it is again, just a close up.
Thanks. If I can make it any better. Old-fashioned way. So this little piece that's attached to the gas line is the repair that was done on it.
That's correct. You can see where the the bullet would have severed the line, and it took that piece to connect it back together.
Anything else that Rivera told you that?
That the homicide had to take place on the day that it occurred because he was traveling out of, Minister Markel was going to be traveling out of town the following day.
And were you able to confirm that Mr. Markel did in fact have plans to travel out of town the day after he was killed?
He did. He was planning to go to a conference up in, I believe it was New Jersey.
And Mr. Rivera's proffer also enlightened us to the June trip, right? That there was a second trip that preceded.
We talked about the June trips also.
And were we able to corroborate that through the testimony of Sergeant Corbett that we just heard from?
That's correct. We had several instances that we're able to corroborate that.
All right, are you familiar?
No, please. I'm having trouble.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the wiretap that was conducted back in 2010
It was Charlie Adelson and Catherine McBamel.
as a part of that wiretap?
Calls and text messages.
All right, and did you review a disc of the calls that have been deemed relevant? Are all of those calls contained on that Exhibit 99? Are those fair and accurate?
Sorry, guys. StreamYard gets iffy in the afternoons. I don't know why.
Your Honor?
You may.
B as in boy. Did you find any evidence in the calls relating to Donna Adelson meddling in her children's lives?
We did.
Okay, and I want to ask you about specifically Wendy's life and her purchase of a house. Are you familiar with the fact that Wendy Adelson had a contract to purchase a house in 2013 here in Tallahassee?
Yes, I am.
All right, and that she pulled the plug on that house on Halloween of 2013. You familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And are you familiar with the evidence that Catherine McBanoa gave regarding being approached on that same day by Charlie Adelson about what ultimately became this murder for hire?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And have you reviewed let's strike that. I'll come back to it. I also wanted to ask you about meddling in reference to the calls.
I did.
Okay, and specifically, I think this one's call 989. What's the gist of what is on that call?
Mrs. Adelson's talking to Charlie Adelson, and they're discussing Wendy's current boyfriend, which is his name is Dave. and talking about different ways to keep her dating Dave and keeping her from breaking up with him.
All right, and is Donna Adelson enlisting Charlie's help in dealing with Wendy?
That's
Who's
correct.
Dave? I thought her
Managing
boyfriend's name
Wendy.
was Jeff.
Correct.
All right, permission to publish at this time, call 989, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
And if we could start at 8 minutes and 56 seconds or thereabouts. We have no power, so we're requesting a recess.
Are you kidding
The
me?
jury will take a brief break. Dave will escort you to jury room.
Oh, she has her headphones back on now. All of a sudden, she wants to hear again. Why do
Everyone
they
can
need,
be seated.
why do they need to send the jury out to fix a tech issue? Why?
So for all of our advanced equipment, we need the repairman.
There's no power. Check the cables. You don't need to send the jury out to check cables. For crying out loud. They need to create a new position, like legal tech assistant or something like that. That is Donna Adelson. That is the accused. That's the defendant. She has, those are hearing to help her hear better. I know. Can you hear me now? Am I back? StreamYard hates me. Now give me the court feedback. Thank you. So she had a hearing because she's in jail. They gave her a very high bond because she'll leave the country. Grogu, behave. So she had a hearing about being mistreated in jail. And why did she need a steroid injection? I don't remember. In her back? Was it her? Yeah, her spine. Her spine. She needed a steroid injection in her spine, and she swore they told her they didn't do that. And then when they looked at her medical records, it said that she refused one. Because I guess they weren't going to do it under fluoroscopy so it could go into her spine. It was just going to be a steroid injection into the muscle. So she refused it. And they weren't going to
she says she has like small ear canals, and there's some special kind of way they have to remove a sciatica. That was it. Special procedure they have to do to remove the wax from her ears because her ear canals are really small, and they wouldn't do it the way her ENT does it, so she couldn't hear. So that's why she has the hearing assistance headphones on. But one witness, she completely took them off. So we were like, oh, selective hearing. She doesn't want to hear this witness, so she took her headphones off. And it was, the hearing was laughable. I mean, and Jen, you know me. I have pain all the time. I understand it, but she was offered a steroid injection. And if you're in pain, you're going to take whatever you're offered. I'm sorry. She turned down a steroid injection because it wasn't into her spine under fluoroscopy. If you're hurting that bad, you're going to take whatever you're offered. So I was like, she's not hurting that, shouldn't it? So I don't feel sorry for her. I think for her to have, well, first off, she reminds me of my mom. I was micromanaged and had my mom not died when I was 21, my whole entire life would have been micromanaged like crazy. She would call them and break me up with my boyfriends. So like she would look through, I'm old, so there were no like dating apps and stuff back then. There was no internet back then. She would like look through classifieds and find guys and be like, "Oh, Debbie, you should write this guy. He sounds really good." If he had lived to the era of dating apps, she would have been on a dating app looking for me. Fish in the ear? I forgot what she said they did. I forgot. I had a really bad ear infection one time that I was when I still having chemo? I can't remember if I was still on chemo or not, but I was immune compromised from the chemo. And I had a bad ear infection. It was weeks. This ear infection was going on for weeks. I was hospitalized twice for it. And my ear was so swollen, my ear canal was closed completely. They had to put a wick down in it in order for them to get the drops. Oh, water. They put a wick in there. So, because it was shut, they couldn't get the drops in. So they put the wick in there so they would put the drops on the wick. And then the wick, it would go down the wick so the drops would get in my ear. So that was not fun. That was extremely painful. And so to this day, I'm like, if my ear even starts to ache a tiny bit, I like freak out. I start, it's like, what is it? Alcohol and vinegar. I think I did that. Yeah. The other day, alcohol and white vinegar. I started to get an earache, and I'm like, I'm putting this in my ear now because I don't want it to get infected. I want to get this ache out now. Oh yeah, we went to Typhoon Lagoon. That's what it was. We went to Typhoon Lagoon, and I couldn't hear. Like, I have no idea why, but I just could not get the water out of my ears. That's what it was. It didn't hurt. I couldn't hear. And I was like, my ears are full of water and I can't hear. It sounds like I'm still underwater, like everything is muffled. I'm like, I am not getting an ear infection ever again in my life. I'm not letting it happen. And so I looked up online, what to do for swimmer's ear, because I was ready to go to the store and like get the swimmer's ears drops. And I read online that all it was white vinegar and alcohol anyway, so I just made my own and dipped it in cotton and stuck it in my ear, and it finally dried up all the water because I was like, I am not getting another ear infection. But I had, because of the chemo from being immunocompromised, had an eye infection, and then over Christmas, I got an ear infection. I was hospitalized for both. That was in 2019. Yeah, 2019. The holidays, I was in the hospital for the whole holidays. It was horrible. But yeah, but she was offered a steroid injection and refused it. And then lied to the court and said they said they don't do that there. They wouldn't give her a steroid injection. And then they got her medical records out, and it said right there that they'd offered her one and she refused it. So, and like I said, she reminds me of my mom. She just, and knowing how I was raised, and like her kids, she has 3 kids. One's a doctor, one's a dentist, and one's a lawyer. And I just think about what hell those kids had to have gone through growing up with a mom like that. And they are in these like elite professions. So, that mom pushed and pushed and I say I know from my experience how my mom did with me. They didn't have to do with my mom. It's not funny, but dark humor, If I didn't laugh, I'd cry. And I am so not like that. I'm just laid back and I don't try to control anything. I just go with the flow. I don't care. Whatever. So, you had a ruptured. Yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to be blind in one eye and deaf in one ear. It was terrifying. And then my dog bit me and it got infected. And I had 2 surgeries on my hand. And then I thought I was going to lose my hand. Cancer's not fun, y'all. Don't do it if you can avoid it. Don't do it.
Table down.
Jury entering courtroom.
Ow.
Everyone can be seated.
That sounds painful.
May proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Sorry about that. Agent Sanford, in front of you is a copy of State's Exhibit 85, the wire call summary. Can you tell us what is contained in that exhibit?
It's a list of calls that we selected, calls in a couple of text messages, in a little bit of a timeline, and mostly it's chronological order.
The dates that the calls were made and who they're to and from, that sort of thing?
That's correct. It
And
just
does it
has,
fairly and accurately depict the identifying information for the calls contained in State's Exhibit 99?
that's correct.
Okay, Judge, at this time, I would ask to move into evidence State's Exhibit 85.
State's 85 is entered.
May I have permission to provide copies to the jurors, Your Honor?
You may.
Madam Court Reporter, would it assist you to have a copy of the summary? All right, we were about to listen to call 989.
Yay, we get a call
Judge,
to
we're
listen
gonna
to.
advance the call to 8 minutes and 56 seconds, but I thought we'd start just at the beginning to give the jurors an opportunity to put on their headsets. We provided headsets for each juror with a number, and there's an accompanying volume control in the front here, so my suggestion is just to let everybody tinker with it and get settled, and then we'll move the
That's
call
fine.
along.
For that, use your notepad still. I believe there'll be one copy that goes back later, but use your notepads.
Oh, you can still hear it.
All right, start publishing. Let's
I think they're testing their audio using the
It's
headsets.
really boring if we can't hear it.
Sir? Right, right?
What's, I don't know if I'll wear them for all of it, but just to make sure I can hear it properly. Probably so you can clearly hear. I think that might be your copy because that's his. Yeah. You aren't going to be left in the dark. You need your audio on?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, just got off of work.
Oh, boy. Wonderful.
I had some barbecue up in Jupiter. That's why I just wanted to avoid traffic.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're done for the week? You're not working tomorrow, are you?
I actually am working tomorrow. Oh, I know. And then that was off Monday.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's right.
That's fine, I don't
Very
care.
good.
Yeah,
Just trying to earn a living.
Tinker?
yeah, I know.
Okay, let's go to 8
Yeah,
minutes and
that's
56
really
seconds.
guys that need to-
This is weird. I've never seen them do this before with headphones. At least we can hear it.
Because I'm in that demographic of guys I want to date.
Right.
And I don't have a problem telling her, like, you put the tour sleeper model in like 37. I'm not asking for her a week.
Oh.
No.
Well, it's how unusual a guy he is.
Of course.
Like, what is, and especially,
I something I have done
I know,
on the video,
I know.
and I will continue to talk to her. But there's, there's a limit, so there's a point at which someone purposely will do what you're asking them to purposely do the opposite.
Well, she's going to screw her life because their infinity another day, there infinity another day.
What's that?
There's not going to be another
No,
day.
no. The reason why is I'll never tell someone you can't win the lottery twice, but I can tell you this, the probability is not in your favor. Probability is not in your favor of winning the lottery once. Winning it twice, even more. And that's how I talk to her. Because what happens is
That's what she needs to do.
she understands what I don't ever offend her. Because I don't talk about her. I just say, wait, listen, if you put a 37-year-old Victoria's Secret model in front of me, I wouldn't want to get serious with her. Why? When I could do it with a 25-year-old. I said, a 25-year-old is going to be 18 in 15 years. I go, you want to buy a car with high mileage or low mileage? I go, listen, Wendy, you don't want to date a guy that's 50. You know why? Because he's too old for you. And he's going to be 60 in 10 years, and in 10 years from now, you don't want to see yourself as a 60-year-old. I get it. So it is what it is.
But you can definitely ask her why she's not going out with David because she was there with her for experience better.
I know.
But it opened it for you.
Of course. But just hear me out. I can talk to Wendy differently than anyone can. But even when I do, I don't reference it as saying, Wendy, in a million years I wouldn't date a girl like you with 2 kids. Because it's true, in a million years I would. What I would say is, Wendy, the Victoria's Secret model, I wouldn't have you set me up with if she was 37. And that's just, it's a double standard, but that's life. And she knows about double standards in life. It is what it is. So, all I can say is, like, when I talk to her and I put it in those terms, she gets it. She gets it. But, obviously it doesn't help that she's got these fucking friends.
I know.
Tell her that you deserve the Superman with some guy who's a doctor who's single, who's just dying to take over the responsibility of 2 kids who aren't his. Like, there's tons of very wealthy, successful, young, good-looking guys want to date her because nothing's more fun than having a 6-year-old fart in your face while you're trying to talk to your girlfriend when you get home from work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Only someone like him who's confident who knows what it's like, could understand it, and it doesn't bother them.
Yeah, and it's not only that. Look at a good example. Ted Berman. You never looked at the odds that that crazy mom lived on the other street. The lawyer.
No, of course.
Okay. Ted Berman got divorced from his wife. He's engaged now. I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he took a whole bunch of people. He took, Warren Sapp, the football player. Yeah, he took Warren Sapp, Javon First, a whole bunch of his friends, like paid for everybody for like 20 people to go for the weekend to like that. So they'll go there and spend like $50,000. So his wife ended up sleeping with Javon First. So anyway, so he's engaged now to a girl that he's known forever. Okay. He has 3 kids. I'm in that age group. I don't know.
I had her pause it for a moment to explain that beeping noise that we just heard. What is that noise?
That's the sound that it makes when the officer who's monitoring the call, he minimizes it. So
Okay,
he'll
so
hit a
we're
button, it stops it, it makes that noise, and then when he presses it again to monitor again, it picks right back up on that same spot, basically.
All right, but we're gonna sort
But
of
it
pop
jump-
in and out of the conversation when we hear that noise.
Exactly. There's not a big pause in between. You'll hear the noise, and then the conversation will pick back up.
All right, and am I correct that the people that are being intercepted do not hear the noise, the beeping?
That's correct. They
The
do
idea,
not.
okay. All right, let's say a little more.
One. And I'm wondering if 2 that 1. Yes, your kids are a blessing to you, they're or that's somebody else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, do I look like the kind of guy that wants to come home from work and talk to my 37-year-old girlfriend while her kid farts in my face? No, they're my nephews, I love them. But as far as dating someone, hell no. I want to go ahead and tell my girlfriend, listen, let's go away for the weekend. What time can you get off next Friday? Okay, I don't want to go like, oh, we got to deal with, can we get the in-laws to watch them, what their schedule will look like. It's not just Wendy, it's Wendy and the 3 boys. It's 3 people you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't, and trust me, I know what to say. I mean, and I listen, and a part of me says because, you know what, someone that's handed a golden opportunity.
But that, you know what? That's what she has to hear. Sometimes you get the gold ring, and I don't know what she said her use for something or not.
Because she has everyone telling her that she's such a great catch, and she is. But they're not, but guess what?
They're not living her life.
They're not living her life, and they're not breaking it down and saying, who's, and listen, the guy who may treat her really well just may never really bother the kid. Like, there's so many aspects to it. So, you can be a great guy, just doesn't really want to do anything with your kids. What are you going to do? Kick him out too?
This guy not only was crazy about her, but crazy about his boys. And he's definitely truth, and that's what.
That's why. Because the truth is, she can meet a great guy, those aren't his boys, and she just doesn't like them. What is she going to do? Get rid of them? He may treat her well, but he's like okay with the kids.
Tolerate the kids, we'll put up with them.
I put up with them, whatever. And then what if they're real nice to the boys on day one, but 3 years down the road, it's pretty much had enough of them. But right now, they're going through a tough time. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, that she's been given an opportunity that she most likely will never happen again. She's throwing it away. She's not only throwing it away for herself, she's throwing it away for the kids that deserve it, Dad.
But you don't understand, you could never say that to her. Well, man, it was the same.
Yeah, I know.
You can say anything you want. It's America. I can tell you the end of the company. You can tell me the beginning.
If I should say if you weren't here, that's what I would do. I would try. I would try.
Okay. You fuck it up good. I tried. You would get 30 seconds into your planned speech before she told you to butt out of her life. And rightfully so, it's her life. She can tell you whatever she wants. But the difference is that I can talk to her differently than you can.
I know. Charlie, believe me, and I'm grateful that you do. And really, you know that. You know that.
Trust me, I know. I mean, listen, she's doing great with that, considering everything she's been through. I would just like.
You know what? She's just sister. She loves you. She's a good sister, and you're an amazing brother. And I'm just grateful that you two have each other. I really am.
Well, I am too. But I can tell you
earlier, and I appreciate what you do because
I go.
Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to say, "Hey, wake up"? This is not the purpose God can use it. It's God that He's doing.
I got promise. Most people don't ever get an opportunity like this to begin with. Like the new thing, to begin with.
I'm shocked that you don't.
Because the truth, and that's what I can listen on.
And after another day, it's immediately going like, wake up, wake up.
Trust me, Mom. Believe. Let me say this much to you. As much as you feel like knocking her over the head, I feel like punching her and then knocking her over the head.
Sure.
So trust me on this. So what I'm telling you is that I'll talk to her and I will do my best with school. My best is very good.
I know.
And you gotta understand, the way I'll tell her too is like Wendy, she loves Jess. I think Jess is awesome. Jess will be a great friend to me. And I talk to Jess all the time. Wendy, I wouldn't leave Jess in a million years because she's 37 and she has no kids.
She's no kid, and Jess still really wants children.
Absolutely. I said, but she has to. I go, what? Let's do about it. So it's like you winning the lotto and saying, I'll never win the lotto again. That's not true. You still have a 1 in 14 million chance. That's like, I'm not going to take that from you. You can get out there and buy another ticket and win the lotto again. It's highly unlikely. So, and it's highly.
Okay, I think we get the idea. We're 2 years out, right, from Dan Markel's murder?
That's correct.
And who is Dave? Did you identify Dave through the course of the investigation?
We did. He's Dave Atel. He owned it. He was a successful businessman and lived in South Florida.
And is this the only call that happened to be captured on the wire in which these two are discussing Wendy's love life?
No, it wasn't.
They talk about Dave quite a bit.
They did several times.
All right, and they talk about Wendy's career options too, don't they?
They do.
And does the defendant, Donna Adelson, enlist Charlie to convince Wendy to do her bidding in reference to Wendy's career as well?
Correct. She does.
I'm going to publish call number 2873 at this time, Judge.
You may proceed.
Learn as much as you can from these people. Sounds like you're not learning much of anything.
No,
But
myself.
I would take the course. The course is, you could do the courses 2 different ways. I think it's either 1 week and then you take the course, or you could go like every weekend for a month and then you take the test.
I'm not, like, yeah, but I'm not even thinking about that like, right now. Like, I still, you know, my house
This isn't what it's
being
supposed to be.
medical, like, so I would be,
Is this 2873? No, do. All right, we'll come back to that one. Sorry, folks, wrong call. All right, are you familiar with the bump in this case?
I am.
All right, what's the bump?
The bump is where we took an undercover agent and had him approach Mrs. Adelson with a plan. It was during the time of the investigation, we had evidence that linked Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia to being the actual hitmen. So in 2016, we decided to created the bump to have an undercover approach her, pretending to be a former cellmate of Luis Rivera. Luis Rivera in 2016 was actually incarcerated in the Broward County detention facility and then went to another jail. So we wanted the undercover to pretend to be in a jail cell with Luis Rivera and pretend that Luis Rivera told him about the hit in Tallahassee with the Adelsons. Not with the Adelsons, but the hit that that was created, linking back because we had telephone calls going through, linking Luis Rivera to Sigfredo Garcia, then to Catherine McBanwa, then to Charlie Adelson, then to Mrs. Adelson here.
So it was a ruse
It was a ruse. Correct.
designed to generate chatter on the wire.
It was. It was 2 years after the homicide, and we started a wire, and we knew that they were not talking about the homicide anymore. So we wanted to we call it tickling the wire.
And was the goal to identify, if the pattern that we're seeing that we think is the members of the conspiracy, is that right? Who's a member of the conspiracy and what are their roles?
Yeah, we had Luis Rivera, Sigfredo Garcia would talk, and then Sigfredo Garcia talked to Catherine McBanwa through the phones. Catherine McBanwa would talk to Charlie Adelson through phones. Charlie Adelson would talk to Donna Adelson through the phones, and then it would go back, and it would always go back and forth in that order. It never skipped anyone, never, no one ever jumped over the other person. It always went back and forth. So we had that in the phone records leading up to the homicide, but what we didn't have was the conversations.
So was it of interest to find out, if we approach Donna Adelson in this way, what's she gonna do? Who's she gonna go to?
Exactly,
Is she
see
gonna
what
call
her
the
reaction
police?
was.
Is she gonna call Luis Rivera? What's she gonna do?
Exactly.
Right? Okay. And did you have an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 113? Is that an evidence? 113 contains the combined videos from both the body-worn camera of the officer that approached the defendant and also the angle from across the street.
That's correct.
Okay, and are these fair and accurate recordings of the bump from both those angles?
They are.
All right, moving to evidence states 113, Judge.
Any objection? States 113 is admitted.
All right, and the undercover, the officer that played the gang member, I guess, said that he was instructed not to be aggressive or not to scare the defendant. Was that you that instructed him on that?
It was. We had, we didn't want to cause concerns for the agent's safety. If he approached her being too aggressive and too scary, we didn't know how she would react, if she would possibly be armed at the time. We had no idea, so didn't want to create a hostile environment to make her become overly aggressive.
And
cause him.
Is that a concern in every undercover operation, that you just kind of don't know what you're going to get? I mean, it's not specific to this defendant, right?
That's correct. That's in every case. We try to minimize the risk to the officer's safety and the people around.
Okay. Let's publish 113, please.
Black shorts. What is it? Yeah. Okay, I'll get back. Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen.
You're scared.
No, don't be scared. Listen, I just want to let you know that
Wouldn't show 'em on
we
the
know that your
stand.
family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Luca for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. We want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through, the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuca. Well, this will explain it. Thank you.
Pause it, please. Does the defendant remain under surveillance for some time after this?
She does.
Okay, we see her take the paper from the undercover and fold it and put it into her purse. Does she ever take it out and look at it before she gets back into her building?
Not that we ever saw, no.
And does she make any phone calls once she goes back into her building?
When she goes back into her building, she does.
And who is the first person that the defendant calls after the bump?
Charlie Adelson.
Right, is that call A?
It is.
Okay, publish call A, please.
Hey, Hans.
Jeez.
Tonight after work or some other tournament very near future, I need to meet with you with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Did someone write a letter to you or something?
I got some got some paperwork hand delivered to me.
You're being sued?
No, that's what I thought it was, but I'm going to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, so, I'm not even, I'll have to figure out something. You can tell it will be wherever you are.
Well, I'm in Mitch Klein's office on Oakland Park Boulevard.
Okay.
So I'm right now in Skyline Chili, and I'll be at his office in the afternoon.
Okay. So the boys will finish their, piano lesson around 4-ish, and the traffic will be, and they take a ride with them up there.
Does Dad know about it?
The dad's at work today, fortunately.
What's,
Okay.
is it IRS? Or?
You know, those IRS people, they kind of bother you sometimes, but, fortunately not now.
Okay.
So I will talk to you. I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to drive up that way. Okay? And,
Is Wendy all right? Is it involved Wendy?
No. So let me just talk to you later, and, if
Yeah, what is it? Is that his health okay?
Yeah.
Does it involve me or other people?
Well, probably both of us.
What's that?
Probably the two of us. So we probably have a general idea what I'm talking about. So let's just find some time to talk to each other and take the boys for a ride, okay?
You're gonna take the boy up there?
No, when he doesn't come home, he doesn't get here till about 7 when Dad gets here.
So it's murder you talked to me today.
He or, tomorrow, and
All right. I'll be up at Mitch Klein's office. Oh, yeah, really?
just concerned that we don't go there and get back in time for Lindsay to get them. Sometimes she gets out a little earlier than that. Coming out here.
Can I ask you a question? Whose paperwork sent from?
I see that, but it was, something that came hand to hand to me. I exited the building today.
And he did it right with his anonymous?
Not anonymous.
Right, whatever it is. It's silly, but if you want,
I wouldn't bother you, trust me.
yeah. Do you want me to come down to see you tomorrow? I have to have the day off.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Dad works later tomorrow. He goes in at 1 o'clock. We go out at the gym from 9:30 to 10:30. So
Whatever it is, I'll take a look at the paperwork.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the IRS.
I just would like you to review it and give me some input into what your thoughts are.
All right.
Okay? So come down tomorrow. Dad leaves at 12, so anytime after 12 would be good.
12 tomorrow.
Yeah, he leaves at 12, he starts at 1 there, so 12, 12:15.
I'll come down in the afternoon. I'm going to hang out with you and see you soon.
That would be great.
Perfect. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Let you come by.
Would you describe the defendant's demeanor on this call as really calm?
Yes,
She says Dad's at work, fortunately.
she does.
Indicate that she's in fear. She was handed a piece of paper that had an article about the murder of Dan Markel, right?
Correct.
That's what the interaction was about.
That's correct. And made reference to it.
And when Charlie asked the defendant what it's about, what does she say?
She says the both of us,
Probably both of us, probably the two of us.
and then the two of us. Said it twice.
Does she say the name Dan Markel on this call?
No, she does not.
Does she say the name Dan Markel anywhere on this wire?
No, not that I recall.
Did she report this incident to the police?
No, she did not.
Your call shortly after this one?
There is.
Tell us about the next call, call B.
Call B is on the same day. It's from Mr. Charlie Adelson, Mrs. Donna Adelson, and it occurred about, I want to say about 2 minutes after the call we just listened to, 35 p.m.
Let's publish call B, please.
Hey, how are you? Good. You're not paying the contacts?
Um,
No kidding. No, listen, what was I gonna say? You mind paying my Brown and Brown insurance?
no, it's fine.
Okay, because I mean, you put the company, that, down the lower bracket. That's actually true, they can do what you said about swinging lower bracket.
Okay, so you want me to call Pam Hall?
Yeah, because I told her that my mom would call her because she's handles like that stuff at the office. And then just send them a check. Because they have to have it for, I want to say the 29th or something. And do that. And listen, whatever it is, whatever someone says, I wouldn't worry too much about anything.
Okay.
I mean, so if someone can write whatever they want to write, someone can say whatever they want to say, and I'm not worried. So, was it another bad review on Yelp?
There's reviews come in, sometimes they're not bad reviews. This is a particularly bad one. So,
So I'm not being sued.
no.
Okay. All right. Honestly, it's whatever it is, and I wouldn't just judge what you're making it sound like. I wouldn't stress it out too much.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, people. It doesn't. Someone says you're a bad dentist, it doesn't mean you're a bad dentist. So, anyway, I'll definitely come down. It actually worked out perfectly because I had the day off.
Okay. So I'll make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you.
All right.
Okay?
Do I need to bring cash?
Yeah, if you take me out to dinner, I'm going to have less probably going to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this? Look, I should bring cash. I don't have much cash to bring.
Yeah. I'll see if I have money. Let's see what I have here. Okay.
Was it? Can I ask you, is someone blackmailing you?
Well, it's going to be a possibility.
You think someone's trying to blackmail you?
Maybe. Could be.
No. That's crazy. Is there, I don't know what blackmail is for, but is there any way I can see you? You can't come up here at all?
It's going to be difficult because they won't finish the piano teacher didn't leave till about 4:15. And even if I came up there and got there a little after 5:15, it was going to be tough to, necessarily get back here in time for you to pick them up.
Was this, can I just ask you this? Is this anything government related, or is this like, whack job writing a letter to you?
Like who?
Is it like a whack job writing a letter to you, or is this government related?
No, I don't know if it's government related.
So it's not government or military or anything like that?
No.
Who was the letter addressed to?
Me.
To you? That's crazy. Did it have a, do you know who sent it to you?
I have a pretty good idea. But, you know, let's walk in and just walk in. Either, and I would like to, I guess to try to get to you today. I will definitely, I just don't know if I'm going to get back here in time for them. We might not have a
Is it, so whoever sent you a letter, sent you an anonymous letter?
not really anonymous.
Did they sign it?
It's hand-delivered.
So someone showed, it wasn't.
No.
Where did they come to you at?
When I walked out of the building, I'm in the right, and I put that both driveways with the icon.
Right?
And I walked in about 5 feet from pressing the button so that I could cross the street to pick up the boys this afternoon.
Right?
And just because I got on the sidewalk. Yeah. Okay, sweetie, so you stay right here then, okay? You stay right here. I'll work on the computer and then finish it, okay? Yeah, amazing. Somebody who exactly who I was. Call me down.
And he came over and was it a young guy, an old guy?
So probably mid-30s. I wouldn't forget that face.
Really?
Johnny, I can wait for you a chance to go up there. I'm just concerned about getting back here in time and when you say you're worried. I don't think it's a good idea to go to the city before. You know?
All right. Well, I mean, you have to get into stuff with insurance. I mean, it's crazy that someone hands you a letter like that. I mean, I don't know.
You do better just keep it on, tomorrow, that's 12, 15, 12, 21.
Is the person like threatening you or anything?
You know, you're never going to have it interpreted. So, let's not worry, and let's meet tomorrow. I think that's
Why,
right.
Donna? You're stupid.
Let's meet tomorrow this afternoon.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you want to take a picture of the letter and send me what someone sent you?
No, not really. I'm going to do that.
So it wasn't the government or the military or somebody, just some random person.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. How long was the letter?
No, it was just a copy of the article. It's what was written in the letter. That was written in a copy of that letter.
Is the person threatening you?
You know, I don't think we should.
Actually, I mean, it's kind of nothing. I'm kind of thinking if there's a threat, you go to the police.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, I don't think it's people threaten you gotta go to the police. But let me talk. Let me see what it is. Let me see what nonsense it is first.
Okay.
It won't be the first time I've been threatened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'd like you to just see what you think.
yeah,
I mean,
no.
fish it over the fish for him, right here, right up to him. So let's do that. Let's make it, 12, 20, 12, 30, tomorrow. That would be ideal. Okay?
Okay. You got it.
Okay?
All right. Yeah. No. I'll come down. I'll see you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. If it's something serious, I'm going to recommend going to the police. So.
Oh, no.
So, all All right, sounds good. All right,
On this call, we hear the defendant say that this is a particularly bad Yelp review. Is this an example of code talk?
Yes.
This doesn't have anything to do with the Yelp review, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so already in call 2, we've got code words being used.
That's correct.
And she indicates that Charlie should bring cash, and if he doesn't have it, she'll bring it, right?
She does.
Does she indicate she knows who sent her the letter?
She does in a way. She knows who the person was by seeing them.
She says, I have a pretty good idea who sent it.
Right.
He asks if she wants to send him a picture of what she received from the person. What's her answer?
And she didn't think that was a good idea.
He asks if there's a threat, we should go to the police. What does she say about that?
She says at the end, she finally says something like, we might do that, something around there.
Okay, but initially says not a good idea.
Correct.
And did anyone go to the police?
No.
Does she reiterate in this call no talking on the phone?
Did she indicate that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Presses for more information again.
Yes, there is.
How soon after call B do we get that next call?
The next call is at 3 o'clock, so about 15 minutes after that call ended.
All right, publish call C, please.
Hey, sorry about that. Quick question for you. Well, one thing I was going to say is obviously don't talk about things in the apartment or any place. Black, white, Hispanic.
What?
And they just came up to you and they said your name and they handed you a piece of paper?
No, no, didn't hand it right away. First spoke to me for a while and then handed it to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they wearing hats, sunglasses, or?
No, nothing. Nothing. Describe.
You could describe.
No, nothing.
Was the person nervous or were they angry or?
No, calm as could be. Totally calm.
That's really crazy. Are they trying to ask for money or something?
Yeah.
Listen, if it's something like that, I'll like go to the police with.
They have to, but they'd rather talk to you first and then.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, there's scumbags out there all the time that try to do stuff like that. So,
that's why, I just want you to see, because I don't want, not your father upset. So,
don't say anything to dad until I take a look at it, because dad's part about it.
absolutely.
On everything.
That's what I suggested, after he goes to work tomorrow.
Did the person give you any kind of like time frame or anything?
No.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah.
clear, what's wanted.
What is it, kind of actually, what do they ask for?
I don't know, this TV is probably about 5.
They ask you for $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mentioned, like an ex-girlfriend. Hi, Sandra, come on in. Good, how are you? Okay.
that's crazy. I'm there.
Lincoln's on first. Okay, do that one. Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look and then I'll
That's why I thought, if you wanted to go to dinner, we'll see where we go.
Yeah, I'll go down in the afternoon and I'll take a look at whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
We'll go,
it's today.
we'll go for a walk on the beach or something. It's gonna be nice tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Okay?
All right, sounds good.
Love you too, honey. Bye-bye. Yes.
Charlie says, obviously, don't talk about things in the apartment or any place.
What is the objection? His approach.
There's an objection for why? Man, what an idiot. Don't be calling a phone. Wait till you can talk to him in person. I'm not telling y'all how to crime. I'm just saying. What an idiot. Jeez. Never say anything on a phone and never put anything in writing. Don't pay anybody in a way that it can be traced. I've watched too much true crime, y'all. So, do y'all think Harvey knew? They objected to something. I'm not sure what they objected to.
Objection is overruled. You may continue with your examination.
Oh gosh, where are we? Obviously, don't talk about things in the apartment or any place. And she says, obviously, right?
That's correct.
Why?
That's a good question.
Did you have the apartment bugged?
No, we did not.
Did the gang member have the apartment bugged?
No, we didn't.
And next, there's a statement, this TV is probably going to be about 5. Was there anything to do with the TV in this bump operation?
Yes.
Well, was the word TV mentioned to Donna Adelson when the undercover approached her?
No, not at all.
Did he say she was buying a TV for $5,000?
No.
Okay. So the TV, though, has significance in the greater context of your investigation?
That's correct.
How so?
Charlie Adelson had supposedly joked to several people about buying his sister a TV as a divorce present instead of hiring a hitman.
Right. And was that the same TV that also served as Wendy Adelson's alibi in the morning of the murder?
That's correct.
In this call that we just heard, Donna Adelson says that the person that approached her, quote, mentioned an ex-girlfriend.
Object again based on the same thing we discussed at sidebar.
Will please clarify your question, Ms. Ketterman, so it's clear as the context.
When Ms. Adelson is talking on this call that we just heard, she says that the undercover, quote, mentioned an ex-girlfriend. Does she say the name of the ex-girlfriend
No.
to Charlie Adelson?
No, she doesn't.
All right. Did the undercover say the name of an ex-girlfriend to Donna Adelson?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
He said Katie and Tudo.
Okay. And does Charlie have more than one ex-girlfriend?
Yes, he does.
He has a litany of them, right?
He does.
Okay. So when Charlie hears ex-girlfriend, does he, in fact, on the next call one of his ex-girlfriends?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And he has not been told Katie yet?
That's correct.
Okay. Who does he call?
He calls Catherine McManlin.
Is that our call D, the next call?
Yes, it is.
Publish call D, please.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
No, like, are you someplace you can talk to?
So what?
Are you any place that you can talk to?
You can talk right now.
What's that?
Just talk right now. Just talk.
Okay, is there somewhere that's not loud where I'm talking to?
I can't. It's like loud, so I can't get off.
Okay, I'm trying to walk outside and talk to her now. I can't even fucking get outside. Alright, so leave it on. Alright, somebody, hang on, okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear.
Okay, I just want you to listen to me. I'll be able to talk to you first when I see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom walked the kids. I only heard part of the story,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go down there and talk to her tomorrow to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Because she didn't want to elaborate,
Uh-huh.
but she said that someone approached her on the street,
Uh-huh.
called her by name,
Mm-hmm.
handed her an envelope with something in it.
Yeah.
And somebody was, she really wouldn't go into detail. Listen, I have no idea what this is in reference to.
Uh-huh.
But something regarding her son, something regarding his ex-girlfriend, and the person asking my mom for some money.
What?
Yeah. So I said, well, yeah. I'm like, first what you're saying, I thought it was like something involved in the IRS or a payment
Yeah.
or something like that. So I don't even know what the fuck it's about at all.
So somebody just like bumped into your mom like that?
Well, they came up to her on the street after she dropped the kids off at school. I guess she brought them to school. I don't even know. But they must know her routine. They must know who she is.
Yeah.
They walked up to her. They called her by name.
Uh-huh.
They handed her an envelope.
Uh-huh.
And she said they spoke to her for a few minutes.
No.
And then she said they were making reference to my ex-girlfriend. I have no fucking clue what that's about.
Yeah.
And that they explained that they needed to be paid the money.
For what?
I guess mom didn't want to talk to me on the phone. When I go out.
But like, did she see the person? Was she like, she should have like,
Oh yeah,
asked her
I
something?
said, that's what I said. I said, someone's gonna try to blackmail you or something.
Exactly,
Right.
right, when you like that.
I said, you gotta get straight to the police. She's like, I don't even know what this is about. I don't wanna talk about it. I go, well, take a picture and send me what it is. She's like, I just want to see it in person. So I'm gonna go there. I can't even fucking go there today because I won't get out of work until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So she's like, just.
So you were stalking your mom?
I don't even fucking know. I don't know what's going on, what my mom did wrong. I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom. I mean, yeah.
Look what I do with my mom.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. I don't know.
No, but I feel
Who knows?
for your mom, like, what the hell?
Well, I don't
Just
know.
random person, like, just going up to your mom, like, hello.
Yeah, and my mom said it involved your ex-girlfriend, so I don't even think she said who. I'm just like, you're my last girlfriend, so that's why I called you.
What? Because they would want from her.
I have no idea. So anyway, I'm gonna find out. Well, they wanted money.
I know, exactly. Did she tell you? Like, what?
No, she was just kind of like a little bit rattled and with the kids, and it was like, listen, just as soon as I have the day off tomorrow, so she's like, come down and talk to me. So I'm going down tomorrow to talk to her, and then I don't remember if it had anything to do with you. If they're mentioning you or if any reference to you, I'll keep you posted.
Why not doing me? Yeah, like
I don't know.
girlfriend.
Well, we'll talk. It could be any, so I just assumed that.
Exactly.
But anyway, doesn't matter. So I may want to see you tomorrow if it does have anything to do with you. If it doesn't, then I feel like a fucking idiot for even following, wasting your time. But if it
Yeah, I
does
just feel bad for
have
your mom. Like, who the hell is she? I thought that was you. What do I call him right away? Like,
I know. I said, Mom, was the guy wearing mask glasses? And Mom was like, no, I can take the person out one after the second. They came over to me. They spoke to me very politely. There was a white male in the 30s. No hat, no glasses. Just a white male in the 30s. Came up there and who she was. Addressed her. So, but anyway, neither here nor there. I feel like an idiot if it was some other act. But anyway.
yeah. Did you have any fight with anybody over there or something?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I should just be calling everybody today.
No, yeah, you should try to find out.
I thought when I spoke to my mom, she said it involved, they mentioned your name in it. That's why I was calling you, but I'm going to feel like an idiot if they didn't. So, but anyway, are you working tomorrow or what's the story?
Yeah, but you can always talk while you're there. Doesn't matter.
Alright, what time I'm finished work?
Thank you. Alright, let me know.
What time you finish work tomorrow?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, like I told them like I'm usually between like 9:30 to. You want me to get up? Okay.
What?
Anytime between 9:30 to like 3-ish, 4-ish. It depends.
Okay.
Like today I was like super like crazy.
Okay, I gotta get back in there. I'm gonna be in Miami, and when I'm done hanging out down there, I'm gonna come to you. Okay?
Yeah, I'm like right there as well.
So figure somewhere around 4-ish, I'll see you.
Okay.
Alright, no worries, you know.
Alright.
Alright, have a good day. I'll talk to you later.
Business.
In this call, Charlie Adelson tells Catherine Magbanua that the man that approached his mother said, quote, something regarding her son and his ex-girlfriend. Did the undercover say anything about Charlie Adelson or Donna's son?
No.
Did the undercover reference Charlie Adelson at all?
No, he did not.
When Donna Adelson relayed to Charlie what the undercover did she say they mentioned you?
No.
But he deduces that he misremembers that it was just about him.
That's what appears, correct.
Did he proceed after this call to call any of his other ex-girlfriends?
No, he did not.
Did he speak to anyone else about this other than the family members that we're going to hear in Catherine Magbanua?
No, he didn't.
Right. There was discussion of an in-person meeting between the defendant and her son, Charlie Adelson. Did that take place?
It did.
When did that take place?
The following day at about, I think it was around 1 o'clock.
Is this April 20th, 2016?
That's correct.
Where did the meeting take place?
It took place behind Mrs. Adelson's building. They actually met in the building, we believe, and then came out the back of it and walked down. There's a sidewalk along the water behind their building. And they walked along the sidewalk to a restaurant called Monty's.
Oh, Well,
There's a
that's
table
not
out by the
suspicious
water,
at
out by
all.
itself, just
They just went outside and walked. That's not suspicious. Not at all.
Don't be suspicious. No. Don't be suspicious. 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 Don't be suspicious.
John Ralphio? Come to take his sentence off! Come to Rabbi! To take his sentence off! To take his sentence off!
behind the restaurant that they went and sat at and met there and talked.
What, if any, efforts were...
So if you need your hearing assisting device, please wear it so you do not miss any of the evidence. Please ask your question again.
What, if any, efforts were made to surveil or record the meeting between Charlie Adelson and the defendant?
Yes, I had recording equipment brought in, and we tried to get as close as we could to them. They sat out away from anyone else across the sidewalk, right by the water on one side of them and a sidewalk on the other, and we couldn't get very close to them without alerting them that we were there.
Were you able to record the contents of their conversation at that in-person meeting?
No, we tried, but it was inaudible. There was no audio.
Were you able to get any photographs of this in-person meeting?
I was.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to introduce State Circuit 3.
Any objection?
No objection.
State Circuit 3 is admitted.
May I publish?
You may.
Can you describe for the jury their demeanor, the way in which they were speaking at this meeting?
Yes, they were talking in very low voices, and Mr. Adelson is usually very loud, but he was not talking in a loud voice in this particular meeting. Even when they walked down the sidewalk, they were talking very low, leaning into each other, almost a whisper.
How long did the meeting last?
I believe around 30 minutes at the table.
All right. Judge, I think this might be a good time to recess for the day.
Very well. Members of the jury, we are going to take our break for the evening at this point. Once again, I'm going to remind you not to discuss this case with anyone else or each other. Also, as well, do not seek out any information or news reporting concerning this matter. Just leave the items that you were handed in your chair along with your notepads. Please report tomorrow at 8:30, and we will continue with the examination of the witness. We anticipate getting started by 8:45. Have a good evening. Everyone can be seated. Ms. Kappelman, for the direct of Agent Sanford, how much longer do you believe that will take tomorrow?
It's going to take most of the day tomorrow. I do hope to get a couple more witnesses on for the end of the day.
Very well. Does either party need to be heard before we go into recess?
Judge, I'd like to be heard. I respect your ruling, although I thought that you had indicated that you were instructing Ms. Kappelman not to provide cumulative testimony when we returned.
Well, she is not testifying at all. This is about the form of the question that you're getting to.
Well, one of my objections is that in fact she is testifying, and I failed to mention that at sidebar. So the jury is getting to hear the recorded call. There's a highlighted transcript in front of them that they're reading and reading while we're going through the call. Then Mrs. Kappelman could have asked questions like, did Charlie say this? Was somebody's name mentioned? Instead, she's repeating again what's on the call, and that's not fair to my client. That's not following the rules of evidence, and I just want to make a record. Thank you.
concerning that matter. I've already made my ruling. She is allowed to ask questions that go to context of what has been admitted. There's no more of the concerns. Are there any other matters?
The state provided, and I'll have an answer to the court and the state in the morning.
Well, please report by 8:30. We will await the jurors and then we'll continue with the examination of Agent Sanford. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
You're just upset because you're losing. Okay, guys. That's it for today. Thank you guys for coming out, and I will see you in the morning at 8 for Trials of the Past. We're still doing Betty Broderick. We are on Jaffe. Jaffe. Who is Jaffe? He's an attorney. He's the divorce attorney. They're taking him out of order. I think we were almost done with him, and then we'll be going back to Kim's testimony. And no bell. Oh, sorry. I thought she was going to pee on the carpet. And then at 9:30, sorry, Grogo. I didn't mean to hit you. And then at 9:30, we will be back to this trial. So you guys have a great evening. I will see you in the morning. And remember, be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you, and so do I. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. I will see you in the morning.